But I do know that we're getting into another Hun war, second best of 5 of the day. Yo, absolutely cleaning up Tato in the first series. Will he be able to do the same versus MbL? He'll be our blue player here to the west of the map. And MbL is going to be the green player to the southeast of the map. Hun War Part 2.
Duh. I'm trying to spin around a bit of the TC and do like fancy intro stuff, like whoa, MbL. But
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't work that well so far.
do the StarCraft intro thing where like they'll
Yeah.
zoom out and then zoom in and then
Yeah, switch,
spin
move
around.
around and like MbL.
In a crater.
Ooh. Yep. So, Huns War, we saw some pretty standard play from Mr. Yo and nice reactions from him. Honestly, I think MbL is even also one of the least creative guys when it comes to strategies. No, we should, as a caster, always speak in positives, right? He is one who truly knows the meta. And yeah, I'm just so much
and
expecting
makes his
pop 20.
opponents miserable when playing him.
So
Like
pop
MbL is the player that will just grind out games just doing the exact same meta build day in and day out.
So pop 20 scouts from both of them? Very likely, right?
Maybe it'll be pop 21 scouts.
It's 2019. I think with Huns, most players decide to simply go for pop 20.
Yeah, I mean, no reason not to. You can consistently get a pretty good Dark Age to do that every time. I guess both players are going to be luring deer. I guess that's the still something that they're both doing. And although I don't think the map for Yo is fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, it's at least workable. If you really want to wall it off, it's certainly much better than he had versus Tato. Meanwhile, MbL's map is absolutely horrible. In a crater, lots of resources forward. I just hate these maps.
Arabia. Yeah, that will be one where he has to play quite aggressively for sure. And the gold, maybe he can build the archer ranges on that hilly area there. But even then, berries, everything pretty tight for him for sure. If he walls himself, but I think we need to see a lot of feudal army from both players, kind of.
Yeah, certainly. And I think gold is going to be a kind of a problem for MbL as well, as it's just very, very exposed. And any sort of like archers or even scouts, if there's that they're attacking downhill, could really mess up any gold mining attempts over there. Although I guess a TC in the Castle Age would secure the region really well, but Feudal Age is going to be pretty rough, as you're saying.
And honestly, like, there is, if you don't think too far ahead, a likely scenario also that he will have the archer ranges, barracks, stables, and such exactly at the spot where you kind of want to have the TC in the long run. So he needs to think ahead quite a bit if he wants to have the perfect TC placements that we can see so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's MbL, so chances are he's probably not even scouted his main gold. I mean, let's be real on who we're talking about.
Okay, he sees a lot. Did push 2 deer. Normally he wants to be more greedy than that. And Mr. Yo's playing pop 20 and MbL playing pop 21. Let's call both of us right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wins that way.
And
Yo is actually, yeah, both players I think just went for the 2 deer. Very sort of standard stuff. I mean, as you were saying, both these players are quite standard. MbL with the lumber camp on the far right on top of the hill. I actually kind of like this. He's going to need to defend this area in the medium run anyway, so might as well make sense already start having villagers over there. That way you can kind of have your already sort of preempt building some infrastructure over there so you can protect it once you really start to need gold income. Also notably MbL with the 2 farms, Yo with the 0.
yeah, and that's quite surprising to me. First of all, we need to mention how good of Dark Ages they had, right? 5 seconds behind the perfect time for both of them, so that's pretty damn sexy, especially with the like Norwegian Chinese potential lag. But still, MbL with 2 farms, I think he won't have enough wood for his stable.
I don't think so either. Actually, no, I think he's fine. He's fine.
How?
Um, well,
Huns?
he has 172 wood. He just needs 3
Yeah.
wood in the next 5 seconds. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
Sick. Okay.
Actually, Beric's a little bit slow, but other than that, just
No.
super streamlined.
Okay, stable now, not protecting the gold too much. That looks a bit like a doubt build-up. Most of the time, you want to see people building it a bit further forward, because at the moment, gold still in danger.
Yeah, I mean, I know like this is something I've talked about at length with Dogao, and we're definitely, I think, both fans of build your buildings forward on top of the hill. Yes, I know it's like a little bit riskier, but the amount of like you'll just be so much safer and have so much more vision uh, that it'll really, I think, work out better in the long run.
MbL building some walls at the left-hand side. You can see exactly 3 tiles away from the mill, so that he can squeeze in 1 layer of farms there. Some shenanigans here with the spearman. I think MbL should be fine here. Both players going for their scout production, although Yo at the moment kind of running out of resources. Not queuing up too much.
Nope, seems like Yo is quite heavily farming. Just trying to prioritize getting those farms out early. Yes, MbL had the 2 farms initially, but Yo is going to be making a lot right now. So that's going to stretch his wood a little bit thin, but it's not too big of a deal. Yo going to be walling himself in. Could have, I guess, been a little bit better if he just walled to the edge of the map, but not too big of a deal there. MbL having to wall pretty close to home. Only the 1 unit dead so far, and that, I think, was just a spearman.
Yeah, and traded off some HP, 11 HP left for MbL here. And yeah, Yo will go for some big walls. Both of them pushed the 2 deer. And now the first skirmish here with the scouts. Slight advantage by MbL.
Yep, MbL just with 1 more scout, has a spearman close by if need be. MbL actually has double the army of Yo right now. Yo, as you were saying, really not prioritizing the unit production anywhere near as much as just building farms. And Yo's already got a good amount of farmers already. It's probably like 10 to 12. Just needs to make sure he's not dying to greater armies. Already getting 1 spearman, though. Quite nice for him.
Yeah, that one spearman really nicely positioned, and something that MbL didn't really expect there, right? He was pretty much on the open, and most of the time spearmen are more of the units that are kept at home. So nice move there by Mr. Yo. He will finish the walls behind, and this seems like quite a peaceful game, and MbL won't be punished for his bad map.
Nope, at least not yet. As we were saying, MbL, the way he's walling means that he's not exactly safe in, going into the mid game, so it still could be a problem. But for right now, certainly he's not going to be punished. Gonna be forced back just a little bit by Yo. Gonna be bringing in a spearman though. Should probably make Yo not want to engage.
Ooh, got 3 hits off there with the spearman. That was more than I expected. And, well, sometimes units are bugging out in Age of Empires. Now a spearman from Mr. Yo as well. And, yeah, it all comes down to Rush 2, Castle Age. What will be our transition? Archers, CA? Most likely options.
Yep, MbL was much faster in putting down his archery ranges. Already has 4 archers queued on up. Meanwhile, Yo just finishing his first archery range right now. Food count does seem pretty even, though. I mean, not really a whole lot of divergence in these 2 players' playstyles. Just being very, very standard. Could very likely see a CA war in the near future.
Near future. Well, let's see about that. Still 1 layer of walls for everyone. Double archery range production. MbL won't really outproduce Mr. Yo too much. Mr. Yo will be up to Castle Age, probably 1 villager earlier. Super even game so far. How do we get an edge in Castle Age?
Well, I guess really the only other point of divergence is that Yo didn't elect to get wheelbarrow, whereas MbL did. But beyond that, I think it really comes down to what is like how exactly are you going to go about cav archers? Because both players are going to go cav archers, but how do you go about doing it? Do you add in 4 ranges and just go like full unit production, kind of like how Leary would, or would you try and go for like a fast ballistics? Do you want to add extra TCs? There are definitely plenty of ways to play this. It's just how these players choose to go about it.
And for now, it seems 1 blacksmith, 2 archery ranges. Isn't it a spot where Yo, knowing that he had a solid castle age timing, just could have not gone for any archers at all and just go triple archery range CA and sit behind his walls? Or is it too risky?
I think, you know, us with our all-seeing observer eyes could say he could have gotten away with it. But I think if you don't know how hard MbL is committing into the archer play, it's just safer to go for a few archers of your own. It's not like he's, I think, over-committing into the archers or anything like that. But I just don't think it's going to be too big of a deal either way.
Oh, you
But
might
I mean, I think it would have been more efficient. But sorry?
Yo goes now out and tries to go for the clear up. Should get that quite nicely. The scouts are helping out as well. Spearmen are focusing this down, and it seems like MbL will lose everything. And Yo, he actually clicks crossbowmen with only 6 left. And I think, oh, well, we have archers from MbL as well. So both going for crossbowmen and only then CA.
Yeah, I mean, the crossbow upgrade's worth it even if you only have 6 archers, right? I mean, it's a really cheap upgrade.
It used to be. Triple archer range from MbL as well. Botkin arrow, and well, it can't be that cheap. MbL can't afford it. Oh, he can. My bad.
But what he cannot afford is bowsaw. And neither player actually can do that. Yo's just getting it right now, but slightly delayed.
Yeah.
So, cheap upgrade for crossbow, but not free. Also notably, MbL committing a little bit more to the archers than did Yo. I mean, he lost several and still has way more than Yo.
KD 12 to 9 there. Some scouts lost on both sides. Well, mainly it's the CA production in the back. Yo not really reinforcing, now trying to run away. And we can see both players not going for the force archer range, but ballistics. I think makes a lot of sense if we don't have the take the gloves out fist fight.
Yeah, definitely. As the ballistics will make your units a lot more, I guess, controllable. Like, you can just sort of dart in and out and get some raiding done better that way. But we do definitely have a small point of divergence with the TC coming in for Yo much, much faster than MbL's. And that will give him an eco lead. Unless MbL chooses to do something, because MbL just on 3 ranges and ballistics, but that's exactly what Yo's doing. We'll be getting bloodlines first, whereas Yo's opting for husbandry.
Oh, okay. So, thinking about mobility first is Mr. Yo. Or was he lacking the gold? Not really. So, quite interesting. Okay, what do you think, MbL? Should he add... Oh, he goes for elite skirmishers. That's weird.
It's MbL. That it is MbL. He does love his trash units.
I think then he needs to build an aggressive siege workshop, right? Otherwise, his skirms don't make too much sense.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want defensive skirms if you're only on 1 TC, so MbL, he must have seen the TC of Yo and feels like, okay, I'm going to fall behind in economy. I should do something aggressive here. And you certainly can make the elite skirmisher forward play work, but you got to go if you're MbL. It's not really going. It looks like he's just going to add a second TC and actually just use the skirms defensively.
Okay. Well, crossbowmen cleared up at the front. Villager count. 5 ahead for Mr. Yo. And, well, some raid in the back. Could lose like 2-3 villagers. They're perfect positioning by MbL. Will get not a single one. One.
Up. Not a single one. I got one.
Oh, 2 even. Okay.
There you go. Also, Yo still doesn't have wheelbarrow. MbL does, so that's going to be just a little bit of economic efficiency for our green player. Something actually I just remembered is that this is the matchup for the Legacy of the Huns. The most recent one, the finals, was MbL versus Yo, and MbL
Oh,
took that one, I think.
indeed. After
So
beating the Viper in the semifinals.
indeed. So that's going to be. This is definitely a matchup that both of these players are quite good at and quite familiar with, and even playing each other.
Did you see how the scout debated there? That
That
was
was
a
beautiful.
sick move as well. Did get some more volleys off, and MbL, he was somewhat greedy, and Scout, he could easily die, but he debated even against the ballistics, now catching up with Wheelbarrow. But Skirm surprise!
Skirm surprise indeed that will force our blue player black. Also notably, MbL has the extra armor upgrade over his opponent, so that's going to help in a straight up fight. Yo getting scale barding armor though, and adding in a knight ready for the Skirm switch. Well, at least dealing with it.
Yeah, and a second stable as well, so that will indeed be some knights from him. Villager count surprisingly even. He is going for the 30 CMBL, still at 2. CA is now joining from the top, but I think with only 5 CAs, MBL can't stay there. He will die to like 3 knights alone.
Yeah, definitely. MBL's got to be really careful. The thing with skirmishers is they're not mobile, unlike the rest of the Hun army. So yeah, he can't retreat with these units. And remember, Yo has husbandry, so he can chase everybody down. Cav archers jumping in, skirmishers just going to try and trade away as most efficiently as possible. But Yo should be cleaning up MBL really decisively right here.
And MBL sending more CA to their death. Yeah, he's fighting okay against the CA first, but now Knights are switching over. He's running away in the same group there. I think that was beautiful for Mr. Yo.
Indeed, now he has the high ground with his cav archers, again, using that maneuverability, and that is quite the forward siege workshop coming in for Yo.
Thinks better
Yeah,
of it.
that's a little too forward. Yo gonna go ahead and take high ground. Again, he does have that one, MbL does have that one extra armor upgrade, but just numbers not on his side when it comes to cav archers. Skirmisher count is getting kind of low at this point. And Yo at a pretty nice position here strategically once again.
Yeah, still has a lot of wood and gold. I think should continue with CA production. Look at that, 13 CAs in the queue here. You could really make an argument for some added archery ranges, but well, invest the wood into mangonels first and we'll have a nice little advantage. More archery ranges from our Norwegian.
Indeed, 2 more ranges coming in for MbL as well, so he'll be up to 5. That's going to be plenty of production. Still going kind of halvesies with skirmishers and cav archers. So it's all about sort of balancing your armies, except, well, the mangonels are going to deal with everything fairly efficiently. So again, Yo, he has the hill here. He's in a good spot. That is a nice mangonel hit for Yo to start things off.
Indeed, and now MBL, he should be really scared. Has 2 mangonels of his own, and well, no one can really attack into each other. Yo now goes for the +2 defense. Knight production not that strong though. I think if he went for like 3 or even 4 stables, I think he could have finished it in Castle Age. Ooh, double mangonel hits here. This one is a tough engagement.
This is a tough engagement for both players to take. Definitely going to be taxing their micro, but all in all, it's pretty even. Military count, well, now exactly dead even. But I feel like the Knight Cav Archer army is better than the Skirm Cav Archer army, especially when our blue player has the high ground. And another mangonel popping out just in time. MbL just queuing one up right now.
Yeah, I would really love to see Monk behind this as well. Look at the army of Mr. Yo. A lot of very hurt CA there. Could really benefit from some. And MBL, he feels comfortable enough to take 4 CA out there. And he will get a big, good raid against that. How did he spot that?
I have no idea.
He's just going for the wood line. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just going for the wood line. And click in the back there might spot those.
Yeah, he does. That's gonna be nice for him. Also manages to slip on out with another 4 CA. Just needs to make sure he can hold strong at the front, and he'll be looking to be in a good spot. But stables 3 and 4 coming in for Yo. I guess it's just 3. But yeah, he does want to ramp up the night production, and Yo himself going to be coming in with the CA raid onto the wood line of MbL.
Oh man, so much stuff going on now, and well, he will catch 2 villagers, make it maybe 3, not even that. CA should clear this up, and at all the other sides, I think the raid should be stopped. But MbL is doing some damage and is buying himself some more time. Mangonel go through the center though.
Indeed, where's the Mangonel for MbL? It is still not quite out just yet, and it is 3 Mangonels to 1 right now, and that is not an odds you are gonna be in favor of for MbL. That is a surprisingly not kill from the Mangonel.
And a surprisingly not kill number 2.
Yeah, that was weird. But still, 2 Mangonels left, even if they are attacking uphill. Both will actually get cleaned up before getting a single kill, and MbL clicking up to Imperial Age.
Oh, that's just brutal, man. And his raids are continuing. Yo, he maybe did send too much army to the side. And look at that, he lost track with his CA. The CA of MbL are in the back of the gold now. This is a beautiful raid for him.
Yeah, beautiful raid for him indeed. Yoa needs to do something right here. His villager count isn't higher just because of MbL's raiding. He's kind of losing units at the front, needs to send more cav archers back to clean up. And because all those Mangonels died without really getting a whole lot done, it could be a big problem. But look at all of these knights for Yo. Whoa, where did those knights come from? They have +1/+2. And that can be a problem for MbL in terms of not dying.
Well, let's see how this goes. And MbL, he obviously wants to get Brace on all his units. And those knights, they could be super strong. +2 defense, +1 attack. And now he is going for the attack through the center.
Yeah, I think MbL was not expecting this many knights here from Yo. There are still some cav archers in the back to help support. Sturm's just going to try and minimize that surface area and snipe whatever cav archers they can, but right now it looks like MbL's probably just going to get swamped by knights. Really just going to need to use the TC to help with the supporting fire and just try and hang on until Imperial Age. Yo going with the super heavy Castle Age play. Mangonel is going to be really heavily caught out for MbL, and that is not going to be great, but still starting to push Yo back.
Oh, you say super heavy Castle Age play and super heavy castle play behind this. This is a super aggressive castle that he's building there, missing some CA and some knights in the back, but the stream is continuing. Now getting in. Will Bracer be enough for MbL to hold this?
It's going to be really close, I think. Bracer obviously coming in, like you're saying. The army of MbL is still technically larger in terms of numbers, and Bracer does make a big difference when fighting these knights, but this castle is in a really good spot. Mangonel actually popping out at kind of a little bit of an awkward time for Yo, but okay, that was weird. But still, high ground in favor of Yo. That kind of sort of cancels out the Bracer. And the Rams coming in to support as well. This is really awkward for MbL.
Yeah, but he has the same population and a full age ahead. Now we see the skirm switch as well for Mr. Yo. He wants to go for the aggression. MbL with the defensive castle on the high ground, but he needs to hold this area first. The Knights left alone a bit from the CA.
Oh man, even just a few skirmishers tickling the villagers to death, and MbL able to take control of that high ground, has Bracer, and I think he's going to be in a really amazing spot right now. Even if Yo gets this castle up, which is far from certain, MbL is going to have the Treb advantage, and he has the high ground with all of these cav archers in the back.
And MbL even attacking the castle now with the ram here. The villager at 8 HP trying to get it done. 5 HP CA sniping him from the top. Need to send more villagers. There are a lot of more villagers coming though. But this is good. Every single second that MbL can fight with Bracer against no Bracer is good for him.
100%, and even feel, again, confident enough to send 9 cav archers to the north to raid this gold mine from Yo. There is a TC there. Yo is, of course, on the 4 versus MbL's 2, but castle gonna come in. There's already not actually a Treb on the way. I was making that up.
How did MbL get to 97 villagers with only 2 TCs? Did he never lose any?
MbL lost, like, at most 4 villagers, and was able to do a ton of raiding on Dia, who now has 25 idle villagers due to all the ones that are forward. Now a Treb is queued up, but MbL in a little bit of an awkward spot as most of his farms are currently being denied. No, his army doesn't really cost any food, per se, but the upgrades that they are going to want to get do cost food, so that's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with.
Yeah, has chemistry on the way now. Still no Pathian tactics. Next go there. Yo will lose a lot trying to find some damage, but will get the TC. And as you said earlier, the Furico. Something MbL needs to come up with. Well, at least with some good plans. Trap finally starting to fire.
Yeah, a little long to get the Treb up and running. It's actually kind of exposed right now. But also, actually, archery ranges are going to be taken out. That's just going to be a little bit of a hindrance in terms of military production. But we still have this constant factor of MbL being one age ahead of Yo. And the thing is, if Yo, has any hope of trying to maintain his forward position, he's going to need to keep on making units, which will just, further delay his Imperial Age time.
Oh, one trap going down. Second trap was his 80 HP and he had the knights there. I think he should have committed.
Yeah, Yod obviously not feeling like he can commit there. Will he even save this castle? Oh, barely able to, at least for the time being, until the next trebuchet is out. MbL also expanding to the disparate parts of the map, just really trying to find some space with which to work. But yeah, second trebuchet is almost out, and that should be enough to take out the castle. Handcart just now coming in for Yo. He's really going to be looking for some sort of economy to click to Imperial Age, but again, he just needs to keep on making units too. It's kind of trying to do both.
Yeah, but at the moment it feels like him going mass CA is kind of okay, right? If he just fights +2/+2 skirms against all the CA of MbL, he's buying himself enough time.
Well, he's definitely buying himself a decent amount of time. Is he actually predicting this TC on the far right for MbL? What the heck?
I think he was just running away. That would have been too sick, right? Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he did scout it before, and
Okay.
maybe he did. We'll
Yeah,
that's
pretty nice. And look at this, like macro power for Yo. He's clicking up to Imperial Age, but he's at a 30 villager advantage over MbL. Like, where did that come from? I know MbL was on limited TC numbers, but that's going to be really good for Yo. He just needs to not die in the next few minutes while he's getting up to Imperial Age, while his army numbers are a little bit on the low side, and that's going to be kind of tricky.
He just casually killed like 15 villagers at the right side TC, right? So that was really, really good for him. Getting some stone from MbL as well, so we'll get defensive castles everywhere. I think Yo is in a fine spot, and as you said, just stabilizing now. And is he going for the Marauder switch? No, it was MbL adding some.
Yeah, MbL was just getting some Tarkans, I think, just to have another unit to throw at Yo. But like I said, this is the tricky spot for Yo. He doesn't have much of an army. He is at a tech deficit, and he's got to find a way to not die, as apparently Dash is going crazy in the background for no adequately explored reason.
Well, he's called Riot Dash for a reason.
That's true. He is a way more popular figure on Twitch than I am. That's for certain.
Okay, some raid now at the left-hand side from MbL. Snakes the villager, gets some damage, but is out of here. Yo is building a defensive castle at a very reasonable spot there on that hilly area. Could have gone more greedy with another hill, but as I said, very greedy. Let's take a look. What are the upgrades Mr. Yo is focusing on first? Bracer.
So, yep, Bracer going to be a logical first step. Still mostly working with trash units as an army. Probably going to want to switch back into Cav Archers if and when he has the ability to do so, even actually mining MbL's main stone a ton, which is pretty amusing. And I don't really think Yo is going to be taking a lot of damage, and still 30 villagers ahead of MbL. That's pretty nice for him.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And some CA wanted to go for the raid there, ran into the castle. A lot of them lost their lives, now getting debated into it again. And oh god, those are heavy losses for MbL. Look at that. Oh, so many CAs going down. And he's getting raided at the other side. Wow, Yo, he's controlling more and more and more of the map.
It's similar to Tato, right? Yo even has the neutral gold way at the north of the map, getting a TC there on those wood lines, and it's just like his long-term game plan on like, okay, where are the most important parts of the map to control? And he's just doing such a good job of that. MbL very much in a corner right now. Still does have a military advantage, both in terms of quantity and quality. And is actually getting plate barding.
Well, yeah, he's setting some stables. has a solid amount of farms working for himself now, so I don't mind that too much. Even walled the right-hand side corner off quite nicely.
Yeah, MbL is in a pretty nice spot defensively. Relic count is still 0 for both players, so that's not going to be a factor just yet. But MbL is going to be critically likely getting taken out here in the north. Does have a lot of stables coming in, though.
Okay,
Like have
at the top, I think Yo with 30 population more has a reasonable amount of resources in the bank as well. Look at the raid in at the top, and well, those are now some shenanigans. Even building the watchtower there, the siege workshop. Oh boy, a lot of both players losing quite a lot at the top. But look at the production tab. MbL doing a lot. Yo, just focusing on villages.
Why isn't Yo making any amount of army?
Well, maybe 152 villages aren't enough.
Maybe he's saving for Elite Tarkin. It's happening.
Oh, but under a castle that will be under threat. Which isn't too important. He will finish the upgrade, yeah.
I don't think... Okay, no, he's just getting Marauders right now. So yeah, he really wants to make this Tarkin switch happen. And the Tarkins will do well versus literally everything in MbL's army. Even the Light Cav, they're going to be decent against. And also notably, Tarkins are really good at destroying buildings. It's kind of what the unit was designed for.
Yeah.
So they can take down all these fort stables really quickly.
Okay, we can see MbL adding more stables now instead of more barracks, which I expected. Tarkins +1, +4 already. On the other side, the Spearman, no pikeman tag, +1, +0. So it will take quite some time, but... Oh, MbL with a big ungarrison here with his light cav at the top.
Yeah, that's going to be something... look at the military advantage for MbL. He has like 3 times the army of Yo. Like, Yo is making this big tech switch happen, but he needs the units. Production tab, he's making several Tarkins, but it's not that much right now, and just these good old light cav from MbL really going to be finding some damage. But Yo's at 148 villagers. He can lose a few.
Oh man, and when did we expect MbL to suddenly be population leader here? And he is pushing with the castle. The monastery in the center of the map won't really help Mr. Yo too much either. It just feels like Yo overboomed here. 148 villagers after he just lost 15.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of an overboom. But Yo is starting to stabilize. He's now at half the military of MbL as opposed to 1/3, so that's progress. Castle coming in on the neutral gold on the right, so that's going to be another just important spot for Yo to take control of. And notably, he still has control over, well, now both of the neutral golds. He even has his Capram coming in. That's going to facilitate the destruction of these stables even more. And I think Yo should be stabilizing so long as he can clean up those, like, 6 Cav archers.
Yeah, he will clear those up. Some skirms being sent there, and right-hand side, the castle just works to control the gold and obviously shut down those stables. They're quickly ungarrisoning, and well, that's now becoming a pretty scary force of Tarkins here.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of Tarkins fully upgraded as well. And looks like they're going to be going for their own counter-raiding fun. I mean, Tarkins will destroy, I mean, any building really quickly. More and more stables coming in for MbL, but that's not gonna help when Tarkins are going to instantly knock them down. MbL is raiding a little bit from whatever light cav he has left, but Yo seems to have tasked enough units to deal with those. Yo already with the 2 relics. MbL with 0. So again, Yo with that very sort of long-term thinking, and even going to be trying to build his stables of his own in the south.
Okay, but no hostile attack from either player for now. Tarkans in the center. Do you right-click the castle here, or do you want to go some more fighting, some more raiding?
I think that it's you know, the difference between a good decision and a great decision. I kind of like the decision to go for the villagers mining gold, as without any halberdiers or anything, gold units are really going to be the only way you can deal with Tarkins. And just trading whatever units he can. MbL still, though, with a fairly sizable military advantage, because Yo is still overboomed, I would argue, at 146 villagers. And yeah, I think MbL will eventually clean this up, but units, a lot of trash units that Light have.
Yeah, Yo is running there. He's like, what's the value in fighting all those light cav? Let's rather go raid. But MbL, oh, what quick walls there. And, well, the eco in the back still absolutely safe.
Yeah, I think Yo isn't respecting the Tarkin damage versus buildings. Look how quickly that stone wall is getting killed. MbL, of course, will be able to gate up behind it, but both players pop capped right now, and that just means that our green player has a way larger army.
Oh, true. 80 to 44 there. Mr. Yo, he's sitting at 150 villages. Most of the time that means you should be floating resource, and he did go for guilds, so maybe can get his, yeah, mainly wood into some gold, and as you can see, he's starting to sell some.
Indeed he is, and again, without any relics or just gold income, MbL's really going to be struggling for gold and then, of course, gold units, so he's going to be stuck with just light cav, which aren't exactly the best combat units and not really that great versus Tarkins. So MbL's really just going to have to rely on sheer numbers to bust Yo right now, but that's going to be really hard as MbL lacks the heavy siege to take down that castle.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's so true. And well, we are close to 600 gold for MbL. Do you want to see Hussar or the direction of the Halberdiers?
I think Hussar, just because you already have all the light cav, right? I mean, Halberdiers are great in the long run, but I think he needs to not be dying, like, very, very soon. And Tarkin's raiding at the south. That's going to be kind of tricky, and indeed MbL will be opting for Hussar. I think Halberdiers are just a little too slow for what he needs right now. Castle going to be providing a lot of supporting fire, and in the the straight-up mosh pit battle, Tarkins are going to be outperforming Light Cav. Not, as well as Knights would, but still decently enough.
Oh, 3 traps were ready to snipe down those castles after winning the fight, but he didn't win the fight significantly enough. Now some petards and rams trying to smash down those gates, and hello! There's going to be a brutal raid by Yo in the back of MbL's food eco, and look at that. That could easily be 30 dead villagers.
It could indeed. MbL will have these Hussars prepared in time. It actually has like 11 queued up or something like that for a second. And honestly, if I were Yo, I'd probably just be trying to take that fight instead of letting MbL get free damage in, but regardless, MbL is going to be losing that TC. Yo, again, just really asserting his map control right here.
Yeah, and he is now killing some Hussars. Is anything else going on the map? We have some raids in the center, but the main action truly is here at the top. Trying to rewall is MbL. He will clear it up eventually. And, well, when it comes to gold efficiency, that was a win for MbL.
Indeed it was, but I mean, Yo still has way more gold to work with than MbL, with having those relics and both neutral golds. MbL with a little bit of a Hussar raid of his own. Don't think anything too big will come of it. And relic count now 3-0 in favor of Yo. So still just has that working for him. Once again, gonna try and take MbL's main stone.
Oh, that's ballsy. Okay, I just switched a bit through the villagers working there, and well, Mr. Yo with 70 farmers, 65 for MbL, so both ecos looking still pretty strong there. But Yo, he's virtually, or basically pop limit. MbL struggling to keep over pop 160.
Yeah, over the last, 4 or 5 minutes, we've seen this, very slow but steady decrease in population for MbL. Kind of running a little low, I think, in Steam just to constantly produce Hussars, which are very taxing on your economy. Yo's population's also dropping a little bit, but he's still maintaining a good 30 pop lead over MbL, just with, almost 150 villagers working and only 3 idols. That's a lot of villagers and a lot of resources.
Yeah, and look at how good that is, right? Great spot by you to point that out. Only having 4 and 2 idle villagers after all that raiding is going on, that's just incredible macro.
Oh yeah, I mean, both of these players very much known for their macro. Both of these guys are absolute late game monsters. But Yo for a second was pop capped at 182 pop, meaning that he had over 18 units being produced at a time, which obviously signifies his much more powerful economy. MbL trying to creep past 160 pop, and is doing a pretty nice job taking good engagement here versus Yo at the front of his base. Still has that castle to work with, and honestly, I think it would benefit Yo just to get like a trebuchet to knock that guy down.
Oh yeah, would be so good. Finally, it just feels like that damage output from that castle over that game. I don't even know. It feels like 5 digits.
Uh, I'm sure it's not that high, but it's
It
it's
feels
good.
like 5 digits, I said.
Okay.
Okay, now
Okay.
some stables. I wouldn't mind Mr. Yo going for some pikemen at the top as well. Maybe a halberdier go, because at the moment, MbL, he's only defending with hussars whenever there's a raid at the right hand side.
Yeah, that's true. Something I thought about briefly, but well, first there's going to be a huge fight here happening in the middle. So many hussars for both players. Some cav archers to support versus some Tarkans to support. Numbers slightly favoring MbL though. Again, he does have that castle to help out a lot with the supporting fire, and it looks like that even might be a slight win for MbL, but the Tarkans are going to be really holding things down as the fight drags on.
Okay, finally the trap we wanted to see went down to 23 HP, but he continues shooting there. MbL pop 140, and that has to be an exhausting game number 1. It's over 70 minutes now. Oy, 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 oy. It just feels like MbL. He's also running out of space, and another Hussar raid by Mr. Yo.
Oh man, this one's going to be just more and more difficult to deal with. MbL now dipping below 150 pop. Whenever Yo dips a little bit in population, he always just climbs back up there just because he's now at 134 villagers. Trebuchet does go down before being able to take out the castle, so that is something in MbL's favor, but his pop is just slowly but steadily decreasing as he is at the limit with resources, and it's not getting any better.
Oh man, and I just wanted to zoom in into the castle dying there, but the trap died behind it, so castle is actually still alive.
Waiting for that DE castle destruction animation.
Pop 120 here, and more raids. MbL still not going for any relics. Give me an over-under of the GG timing here. It feels like around the corner.
Yeah, I think GG is going to be in the relatively near future. I mean, well, the very, very near future. I mean, everything is relative, right? But wow, what a game number 1. I mean, I've said it before, but I think right now Yo has the best post-imp in the world.
That's a ballsy statement.
I know, but I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Well, certainly one of the very best, and yeah, I could see your argument. He is an absolute beast, and well, maybe if he wins this tournament, we can call him the second best late imp in the world.
But I mean, that was a pretty grueling game number 1 for both players. I mean, these guys are absolute veterans. It's not like it's going to affect them too much, but yeah, that one was a true slugfest. But 7K more gold, 5 times as much stone almost, and way more food, and especially wood. Like,
I still wanted to talk about the game a bit more, but let's look through the statistics then.
I'm sorry.
It felt like MbL only built 1 extra TC the whole game.
Well, considering he lost his starting TC, yeah. He wasn't on any more than 3 TCs at any given point, and 3 was only brief.
Pretty weird. So, quite a solid defense for sure. And okay, they are trying to start their draft, but apparently MbL said Bedouins and then didn't want to say Bedouins anymore and just spammed no. So we have Mongolia, we have Cross, and 2 Yoho maps. Scandinavia. And islands. Interesting that Mr. Yo is picking islands.
I mean, Yo, I think is a solid water player. I think he, like, if you're going pure water, probably isn't at the level of Tato or Viper, but still pretty good. MbL is not a water player. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I said. Like people said, like, oh, MBL will dominate this tournament so much, and I said, like, look at this maps. It's not really too many home maps for MBL in there. If he has to pick cross.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he could have gone RF. I think that's a possibility for MbL.
RF against Mr. Yo? I think Mr.
Okay,
Yo might be the best RF player in the world. Yeah, very
uh,
sure he's better than MBL on Red Set Fortress.
that's true.
Yo is
I mean,
so
maybe
sick.
Yo is really good on RF. Like RF Mayans, it's like Yo and Doubt and obviously Viper. Like that's just it's just crazy. It's like how perfect they can do that.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. And something. Are you in the draft already?
Oh yeah, I just skipped to it.
Okay.
Banning Japanese. Interesting.
Okay, it's weird. I have it as a browser source, and it doesn't allow me to skip. Well, happens. Okay, why did MBL ban Japanese? Did he watch the games before?
I mean,
It's not like Mr. Yo won because of Japanese.
no, I mean Yo won because of his, brilliant execution of that strategy. I mean, it could have easily been Italians or Malay or whatever. Inca's coming in as a pick for Yo.
And Mongols, a pretty good pick for Scandinavia, obviously. Cross could have been the Japanese ban. I think Huns and Spanish both are pretty good for Cross as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised no Chinese pick for Bedouins. I mean, they weren't banned.
No
So,
Bedouins. MBL
oh,
went for Cross and Mongolia.
yeah, my bad. My bad.
Yeah. He said no like 12 times. Yeah.
Yeah. So islands should just be Vikings and what?
Huns? Maybe Mongols?
Then you're not using Mongols on Scandi.
Yeah. So it has to be Huns? And then he plays Spanish on Cross and Mongolia Aztecs. But
I like Yo's.
Huns
I
aren't
like
that
Yo's Sims better.
pretty. If Japanese is banned, it's such like isn't. What's the other option to play against? Portuguese maybe. Against Vikings, but even that isn't
Italians?
pretty. Italians, yeah, okay, my bad, yeah. But that's not super pretty either.
Against Vikings? I think Italians do just fine.
On islands, it gets tricky.
I mean, I do like how Vikings can go for a back dock and then sort of abuse their very powerful eco. But if Italians can get like a quick castle age time and get that half-price careening upgrade, man,
Well,
it's good.
still against longboats. Is it that important?
It's still fairly important, right? Because it still negates the main attack. Well,
Okay.
one damage of it. But I'm not saying it's amazing. I think Vikings are probably just the best pick for islands, but you need to go up against them with something.
Yeah. Yeah, still, yeah. So is he, or is he landing? It feels so weird because, like, let me think about it. It was Yo's pick, MbL, Yo. So MbL had the last pick and Yo won after that. So he had Italians left, he had Portuguese left, and he went for Huns.
Yep.
Is he giving up islands or what is that?
I think MbL does not want to go into straight up water against Yo. So I think he will be landing. In which case Huns are going to be an excellent option. But before we get into this game real quick, what do you think about Yo's civs? So, Vikings for islands.
Malians for
Cross.
Indians probably, or what is that? Indians for Mongolia and
Indians for
Scandinavia?
Scandi. Incas for Mongolia.
Or the other way around.
Yeah. Well, judging by the snow, I think we're on Mongolia. Indeed, that is the case. Go through our million tabs to get to capture age.
Does it take some time till capture it loads? I think so, right? Because I'm always
No,
like,
I mean, it
switching
usually
out.
takes around 5 to 10 seconds for me.
Okay. For me, it feels like I need to switch the scene. Ah, there it jumps in. Okay, that's totally fine.
Well,
Okay.
Regardless, Yo still undefeated today. He'll be our blue Inca player here to the north of the map, as I thought might be the case. And losing the last game, but certainly going to be in a decent position to strike back, will be MbL in the green as the Aztecs. So, two Amerindian civs, and a matchup that we're not quite as familiar with as Aztecs versus Mayans. What do you think, Nilly?
Yeah. The Incas, obviously, they got pretty damn powerful when people decided, okay, let's go for wild tower rushes with the blacksmith upgrades. And, well, let's see if that's something Mr. Yo would want to play and how MbL defends that. For now, villagers are bugging out a bit. I think on paper, Aztecs should be better with their way better eco.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Incas are a really strong civ for any land map. I just think they're so flexible in what they can do. They can pretty much counter anything, pretty well and have a really strong early game. But Aztecs, I think, are just the best civilization for any at least semi-open land map, which is, I guess, what you would count Mongolia as. And with just that really powerful start, powerful eco, and having the better Eagle Warriors in a straight-up fight, I think they do have the edge.
Something we have to mention though, we are playing normal Mongolia, not ECL Mongolia. So this map seems to be way more wallable. And MbL, if he fears the tower rush, yeah, he would kind of give up his front stone there. But I think he can wall off the front area quite nicely and can be walled without too much of an investment.
Yeah, I mean, this is like actually Mongolia. It's not Arabia with 3 more cliffs. So, yeah, it's going to be much more of a maze of a map. And as you're saying, definitely a lot more wallable. With that said, though, Yo is a little open at the front for my taste, but he certainly could make any sort of wall off work. Kind of an ugly bore for him. Has to journey over many mountains and valleys to get that one back.
And without a sheep block slash llama block, and without loom, that's an ambitious endeavor. Let's take a look. Llama is now positioning himself behind the mill and surprise
Don't block
block.
the mill!
Oh.
Don't play with my blood pressure like that, Yo.
Okay, well, he got it home.
Yep.
Only 2 villagers on wood, though. This could be something aggressive. 3 villagers still queued up.
Well, canceled one of them, so it looks like 20 pop uptime for Yo.
Yeah.
That's really aggressive with a civ that can't go for scouts.
Yeah, that will be a trash. How is the stone looking? Pretty good in the back, both of them. Oh god, this could be really brutal. Now the Loom and MbL. That isn't a great thing to get into a good mindset.
Thankfully, we know MbL is a player with a mindset of iron and is never prone to being tilted ever.
And that will be 2 sneaky villagers from the side. Is he sending some through the center as well? Or what's the plan here? 4 on stone
Not so
now.
sneaky, Vils. MbL scouting that
Oh,
instantly.
that was really fortunate by him, right? What did he scout? Like, that, he scouted nothing and sees 2 villagers instantly. Oh, man.
And it's just like trying to pull it off, like, oh, I'm just coming to, wall front, make sure I have my golds nice and safe. Nothing to see here, folks.
Okay, and you see Mr. Yo just sending 5 other forward villagers back to berries. Sneaky villagers around, and MbL will be walled, but walls out both of his stone spots.
No. He's
No.
walling in the back stone.
How did he... Okay, he spotted that late then. That was super clever by him then.
Yeah. Also, Yo doesn't have a barracks as far as I can tell.
Yeah, Yo will play it with Blacksmith. No barracks.
Yeah. I mean, it's a strategy that I think I first saw from Tato. And it's really cool because your villagers, they essentially become almost as good as men-at-arms. But its numbers are still not on your side, Yo. And oh no.
What was that? Oh, there has to be some lag for sure. Villagers are now moving forward. Why isn't he just building the blacksmith at the back? Might have been a good option for him. And he still wants to build it at the front. Fights against militia only. Is MbL trying to play this fast castle behind it? No, he just went Drush into flush.
I think it's just Drush into flush.
Yeah.
He's got the 4 villagers on the deer in the back, but he has 0 farms right now. And I mean, he knows his opponent's going very aggro, so he's not going to try and go for any fast castle shenaniganry.
Okay, first tower now coming up. No chance of stopping that one. Has 4 militia, 1 eagle. Fighting time would be before the +1 defense finishes. Uh-oh, he might need to go for the counterattack.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna do just that. Yo is pretty secure at home, though, assuming he can get just a couple palisade walls in where he needs to. And, well, gotta throw up the contingency houses, because the second tower is gonna be not too far coming.
Did he? Oh, he actually cancelled armor and is now going for forging. Interesting move. Yeah, happened. Defensive tower and aggressive tower. Building it with 7 villagers compared to the 5 villagers. Low HP villagers from MbL as well. This could be troublesome.
There's Ville number 6 coming in. Tower times should be really even, so I don't think anyone's gonna die. Because MbL's walled, of course. Also, MbL's been attacking a house for quite some time.
House? You mean Mr. Yo is attacking a house?
No, MbL was attacking a house at Yo's base. The one at the front of Yo's base is like
okay, yeah.
200 HP down. But tower number 3 is coming in here for Yo, and I don't think MbL was... Well, he wasn't reacting to it, but now he's going to have to just run away with these villagers. Does have another lumber camp he can just go right on over to, and Yo's going to be forced away for the time being.
Okay, I would love to see another second layer of walls there by MbL. Otherwise, Mr. Yo can just move in and, well, could pressure that area quite heavily. So far, MbL with a very solid defense.
Certainly. Yo having to invest a lot in some stone walls at home. Did I miss something?
There was a spot where he could have trapped all 4 men-at-arms that were in one tile if he gated it up, but that was more me dreaming than actually like having a real shot for that.
Okay. Well, the men-at-arms are going to make their egress here. Probably just going to try and loop around to deal with any towers coming up at the side of MbL's base, but MbL's a cool 3 villagers ahead, and we have to remember that Yo has 7 villagers forward, so his economy is even worse than it looks on paper.
Absolutely, and 2 eco upgrades behind this as well.
Yeah, great point. MbL has both Bit Axe and Horse Collar, and Yo has not gotten anywhere near enough damage done with this.
Okay, what are the next steps here? Stone, by the way, he put on a lot of investment to wall that up. Actually, it's still open. Man-at-Arms trying to find some damage. So far, KD 3-0 for Mr. Yo. I don't really know where that came from.
That was much earlier on. That was just the killing of some militia.
Eagle. 1 eagle, 2 militia from earlier? Ah, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And we are now attacking a palisade wall that won't even get him in.
Yeah, that's a little awkward. Unless he can, you know, just push past a forage bush, but men-at-arms aren't quite strong enough for that. Another tower coming in on the eastern side of MbL's base, though, and it actually will be in range. Yo notably did grab the fletching upgrade, so that's going to help the tower efficiency a little bit. MbL just now building a blacksmith. Doesn't have enough stone for another tower because he is getting the one on the left side of his base. So that's going to at least keep Yo out for the time being, but Yo is essentially encircled MbL with towers.
Yeah, and maybe even the spot for some stone walls to completely surround him. Let's take a look. Builds another tower there. Those villagers lost quite some HP, but honestly, if we don't see any archers, they should be just fine here. Quick walls could be an option.
They could be, and they should be, but MbL not even trying to contest that, just gonna have to run away with these villagers. Has no gold income if that's the case. And that's just not good for him whatsoever. Men-at-Arms still haven't found any real tangible damage yet.
Oh man, and just, like, honestly, if you want to design a series, this is one of the best games you want to have against against MbL, right? Because even if you lose, he will be tilted regardless to play this game.
Oh yeah. no grass doubt about that. Tower coming in. Now MbL's going to be off of stone. I'm not sure if he scouted the one to the east of his base.
Unlikely.
I don't even remember.
Unlikely.
I don't even remember the command to look at it. Player's
Just
POV.
R.
R. R.
R. Yeah,
Okay,
just luckily found a gold for him. Has 5 eagles.
Yeah, they're all just chilling in the barracks right now.
Yeah. And
Little odd.
Yeah. That's true.
But MbL just about to click up the Castle Age. There you go.
That's sweet. Did go for the market. And didn't even need to sell anything. Second barracks by him. So that's 3 on gold. The rest of the work will be done by the lumberjacks here to keep the eagle production rolling.
Yep, can just sell at the market, and it will be all right in the short run, at least to get rid of some of these towers that are not walled in, notably, by Yo, something I would have liked to have seen him do.
Absolutely. I don't understand it. It's such a small investment, and it just makes them so much stronger if you just wall them in.
Yeah, I just feel like there's no real benefit to not doing it. I mean, if your tower rush is like 5 seconds faster in this scenario, I don't think it matters a whole lot.
Yeah, true. But the way the 4 men-at-arms at the top, well, they won't have the best field trip. Completely walled in there.
Rip. Well, now they get to enjoy the scenic north end of Mongolia for a long while.
Market finally coming up here, and Yo will be clicking up any second as well. I think we'll just sell 200 wood and then we'll go up. So both players kind of fighting for the wood price at the moment.
Indeed. But MbL is going to hit Castle Age just as Yo is clicking up. Also, Yo is housed, which is kind of a bummer. And yeah, chainmail arson coming in right away. How does Yo not die before he gets to Castle Age?
Stone walls. Lots of them.
Well, that is the
Without a
option
hole
he...
in the middle.
Yeah, that's a hole that he's gonna want to patch up in the incredibly near future.
Oh, that looks like a brain bug from my games. Like, oh yeah, I'm walling that side, quick wall here, send 3 villagers there, and yeah, I patched it. And they just walk through the center and I die.
Yep, that happened to me recently in a BF game. I thought there was only one path to get to the enemy. There were two.
Well, the thing is, he's still open at the gold as well, at the top. So yeah, at the moment there are simply 2 holes. And 3
This
holes.
game
Oh god.
is over.
Oh, what a fail. What a fail.
This game is over 6 ways to Sunday.
Oh boy, oh boy. And what? MbL is even sending in a villager there. And Yo's just typing it, yeah. No way you can contest this. And yeah, what was that triple hold by Mr. Yo? So weird.
Yeah. It's like yo.exe just crashed for a second, and by the time he got it rebooted, the game was over.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that. Triple barracks here, and the thing is, if Yo just holds, MbL still has 0 gold control. Like, except his 3 villagers at the very far side, which are now 2. He would have been in a great spot. Weird.
Yeah. That's just really unfortunate for Yo.
Well, that's not really unfortunate. It's just like his clear mistake, right?
I mean, it's not like he got unlucky. I mean, it was very clearly his misplay, but it's like one of those brain farts that can happen to anyone, like you were saying.
Yeah, but like 3 times? That's just weird.
Yeah. But MbL just clearly way more economy. I mean, even if he got a lot of resources denied, the villager count wasn't really stopped in any real way. So he was able to just use the market to make up the difference.
Yeah. Capture rate closer. Okay, stats on Lu.
Yeah, like I said, just way more resources for MbL other than stone, but that wasn't really as big a deal. And then, interestingly, 17 text research to 9.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how often I actually commented on that statistics.
I don't know. It's a star. MbL gets a gold star.
I don't think that strategy is that good on this Mongolia version. I think it makes a lot of sense on ECL Mongolia, but on the normal Mongolia, I don't like it too much.
The map is just too inherently defensible.
I would 10, thank you.
And yeah, I mean, Yo just wasn't able to bust in quickly enough.
Weird. Okay.
So, talk to chat for a couple minutes.
Okay. Here then with islands.
Mm-hmm.
So islands, that's an interesting question now. Obviously Vikings against something from MbL at the right hand side. I hope you're enjoying the show. And Yo can now decide the home map. Okay, so Memp is saying that the home map can be chosen now by Mr. Yo, and he can decide if he wants to go for islands or for Scandinavia. Who's co-casting? Exclamation mark co-caster. We'll always tell you that info, and then you will find out that it's Mr. Ornlu. What a disaster indeed. Let's go MbL. Let's see. That's pretty good for his mindset that he won that game for sure. And he still has Cross as his home map, but will have to face 2 home maps of Mr. Yo, Scandinavian Islands. But we'll have Mongols for one of them. That's pretty sweet. Spanish true landing sounds good for islands. Spanish trash landing. Not too sure. Info? I think I tried to put all info at the top here. What else are you missing, my friend? Maybe. Well, obviously I did override that now. That's the score from earlier. Leary against Teto will be the series later on. Spanish FC Kongs on islands? And land those? Maybe. Double Kongs incoming. No! Please not. I still sometimes wake up very sweaty thinking about double Kongs. Spec delay started, 1:30 to go. Bum 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 bum. Cock rush. Okay. Spectator delay. Should I just pronounce it every single letter? E, W, Z, Y, W, V? Or is there something behind it? Like easy wave? Maybe? I don't know. Thanks for your prime, regardless. And we are jumping into the action any second. I will start capture rate. Still haven't found the perfect way to deal with it without restarting it every game.
All right, Nilly, islands it is.
Islands it is, and we were racking our brain. Vikings against what civilization?
Huns is the answer, which makes sense considering I think both players, the rest of their civs are pretty clear in which maps they go for, and Huns is really the only option here. I think that makes a whole lot of sense. I think maybe the only thing is you could have switched Malians here, maybe. But yeah, it's going to be the Hun play from MbL. And do you think this is anything other than a landing?
Maybe a very aggressive start. Huns, they can perform with very aggressive starts for sure. And maybe you can pressure Yosa, maybe do both at the same time. Maybe like double dog opening fire galleys and then 2 sneaky villagers?
Maybe. It's definitely possible. The thing is, yeah, we saw Huns a lot on water maps in AOC, but I feel like that was one back when it was just only galleys. And two, it's like the late game water is, I think, much more important than it was in AOC. Or at least because you're much more able to fight back on water. So it like the usefulness of Huns as a water civ, it drops off like pretty quickly, especially against Vikings with longboats. Yeah, so MbL is going to do something to get huge ahead by like late feudal age.
Yeah, if we want to like think about the very long game, you don't have dry dock. Huns even lost cannon galleons with the last expansion, and yeah, so he needs to win the game kind of before the 45-minute mark. And honestly, his bonuses, yeah, not building houses is nice, but that's kind of it going for you.
That is almost entirely it. Also, Huns do get dry dock, but they don't get
shipwright. Yeah, I confused that. Yeah, shipwright is what I meant. No fast fires for them, and so galleon fight in the end. I think once we see 8 longboats, the game is over.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like even before we get to any imp stuff with shipwright, I mean, it's not like Vikings have shipwright either. They just kind of have like mini shipwright from the start of the game. It's longboats are just going to annihilate Huns, especially as the Viking eco is going to be consistently stronger throughout the game as it progresses, as you're saving so many resources and getting in more with your free wheelbarrow and handcart.
But in my opinion, Yo is doing a mistake. Building the dock to the front there. Normally he wants to buy time for himself. That's a bit surprising to me.
Maybe thinks that he is so sure that MbL is going to go for a landing that he just wants to go for the forward dock just to kill whatever fish MbL has faster. That is the only reason I can see why you go for forward dock as Vikings.
But isn't it like safer? Huh, weird.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I know I would put the dock in the back as Vikings in almost every situation, but that's the only justification I can see for Yo choosing to dock forward.
So my chat is asking he's doing a landing as well. Well, the thing is, if both players are landing, that's just the worst scenario for Vikings, because then he can't go for fire galleys, and you don't really have the eco to go for galley masses, so he instantly loses waters at all times and can never come back.
Also, if things go to Castle Age, the Viking Castle Age is like land army is way worse than the Hun one, as Huns have cav archers, and they have good knights to work with. Neither civ has good monks, so that's not really an option. But yeah, that is the exact situation that MbL wants the game to be in.
Mr. Yo with a really bad start here. I'm not really sure how we got into that scenario, but look at that. He's dropping food now, stays on food. He's not contesting water. This is such a weird play.
This is odd. I think the boar was very late in coming in for Yo, because he just finished the boar right now. Usually you're done with that sooner.
This is...
You're right, though. It is very odd. So MbL is going to be a good, 40 seconds faster to feudal age. Transport ship already in. What do you know? He's going forward.
No. He is just sending one villager. Is he sending the scout as well? He will contest with fire galleys
and the dock villager.
Short distance. I think this is honestly a horrible game plan by Mr. Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the transporter will instantly be spotted.
Well, one instant spot.
But that's not too bad for MbL. Mr. Yo will always overreact. He sees the scout only, has no idea about the amount of villagers. Now cancelled some walls, will probably rush out defensive stuff. And meanwhile, MbL will just kill the fish and will win water. I think this is perfect for MbL.
Yeah, Yo's building a barracks right now. He has nothing queued up at his docks. Nothing. MbL has 2 fire galleys.
Sick. Getting out mind gamed by MbL. Yo has to feel really bad.
Oh man, defensive tower coming in. MbL is committed exactly 1 villager to this.
Yeah. And build a transporter, yeah. But 9 idols, so bad.
Fishing ships already having to sail the way to safety.
Now the first demo builds 1 galley behind this. And also a nice advantage that probably is undervalued. MbL gets a nice scout off here as well. If you think about it, like he sees the island so well, and for later times, maybe some raiding with 5 CA, he will always find the perfect spots.
Yeah, that's definitely something that is worth considering. The one thing that I think is kind of okay for Yo, one, he did actually kill MbL's villager that was forward, so that's at least something.
Yeah.
And 2, MbL didn't actually go forward. So Yo can at least be somewhat happy that, okay, it's still going to go longer. And the longer the game goes, the much more favored Vikings are going to be. So that's about all the silver lining he has.
But no fish. He has 3 villagers on stone now. Eco was completely weirded out. Still the annoying scout around. You have 0 control over anything on water. MbL has to feel happy how this went.
Oh, 1000%. I mean, he's with complete and total map control right now. And fishing ship has been spotted out by the fire galley. Looks like 1 will go down. Yo actually docking right in the back just to try and get those guys back to work as soon as possible. 3 galleys and 1 demo raft are out for our blue player. But with any amount of splitting, MbL should be just fine. That demo raft definitely not paying for itself.
Yeah. MbL just took it like a man, was enough for him. Transporter shipping away. Still 2 docks. I think MbL should be at a reasonable uptime, at least that's what I thought. But look at that, 200 food only by him. But well, we only had 15 minutes.
Yeah, MbL is, I think, doing just fine. He still has the military advantage. Yo is getting back to work with his remaining fishing ships, but it's not looking great for him. A lot of damage being taken by these galleys. They also don't have fletching. Yo is just now getting double bit axe. MbL has already had it bit axe and horse collar. You can see he's already got around 10 farms around his town center. Yo has a big fat 0.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. He doesn't even have a mill yet, I believe, right? Yeah, so no chance for even farming here. And, well, now he's collecting way too much stone. Can't really use that as well. Galleys are getting sniped as well. Oh god, so much going wrong for our Chinese player.
Yeah, this is just kind of the game where everything went wrong for Yo, which also was the last game for Yo. Things just haven't been going well for Yo recently.
Yeah, but honestly, that was decision making in both games. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was a poorly executed Dark Age, and in this game, and then poor overreaction for Yo, and it was just I think flawed strategy decision from the beginning, and failed in the wall as well for Yo last game.
no.
I mean, it's both times been Yo's fault, but it's just like very strange considering how he played versus Tato and versus MbL in game 1.
And look at that, MbL, he knows so much killed the scout of Mr. Yo as well. And now we'll go for the second landing. I'm just, well, with all those farms, maybe even expecting double stable. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Think that would kill Yo instantly, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it was GG as soon as Castle Age came in. If we even get to that. Another tower forced up on the stone for some reason.
Oh yeah, he wanted to be safe against the fire galley. Maybe he was expecting a galley to follow up. But yeah, well, the galley can just sit under there.
Yeah. But stable, at least one stable coming in for MbL. He could go easily into the 2. This is looking pretty over.
So you're trying to make something happen with his remaining galleys. We have forging and bloodlines coming up. We see an outpost by MbL, by Mr. Yo, so he will spot the 2 stables, but basically only at the time that MbL is getting to Castle Age to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, he can see himself dying to the knights as they come out of the 2 stables. That's about it.
And yeah, he sees the double stable, still no reaction. Could maybe go for some quick walls. He got the full vision. And look at that, MbL even adding 2 scouts before that to prevent the quick walls. Interesting move.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. Hopefully for him it will pan out.
And he will not squeeze through.
No, not yet. And I think Yo's fine, quote unquote.
Let's see. Houses over there. Nice defense by Mr. Yo.
Yeah.
Defensive tower. And those scouts. Oh, but MbL
Wait,
will just push the villager through there.
Not again!
What?
I've seen this dance already.
But no defense upgrades on those scouts. Yeah, he has bloodlines, can fight there, but under 2 towers and the galley. Most important raiding is happening at the top, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, all this quick walling is cute, but like, MbL can just transport right around the wall, and that's exactly what he did.
No. Now, raid at the left-hand side, raid at the gold. Yo is continuing to try to defend. Goes for spearman defense. Oh. Rough.
Well, I mean, Yo is technically still even-ish in terms of villager, but he just has 4 military to 18.
Losing his front tower there potentially as well. MbL, why is he going so far back with his mangonel? I thought he was doing fine damage.
Yeah, just, you know, repair it and keep on attacking the watchtower.
Knights being saved in the... Oh no! More friends being brought to die.
That's a bit awkward. But, yep, there are 3 knights here. There is nothing to deal with them. Well, I guess there's now a couple spearmen, but it's just out of the 1 barracks. And yeah, the spearmen are getting picked off one at a time.
Yo's going for longboats. Now second mangonel, but there should be mangonel defense coming up from Mr. Yo. Let's take a look. It's tricky to see at times. Gets the first one, and the knight is right-click there as well. That wasn't pretty.
No, I mean, yeah, Yo lost the mangonel as well, but that was a 2 for 1. The thing is, MbL is on the 2 TCs behind this. His economic lead is only going to increase. Yo still doesn't have an army to speak of. Just these pikemen. What's the water control situation looking like? 3 longboats to 9 fire galleys. Still not great for Yo.
What did I say? Once we get to 8 longboats, the game is over?
Yeah, something like that.
Uh-oh, we had soon to be 4.
We're already halfway there. Halfway there.
Round check.
The thing is, though, Yo is at a fairly large economic deficit. Also, 2 mangonels here for MbL. Not a whole lot of defense here for Yo. Honestly, the 3 pikemen can be kind of annoying, but nice attack rounds from MbL will help ward those off for the time being. Also, no bodkin for Yo.
What 3 pikemen?
The ones... The artist formerly known as...
Okay, now it continues with the potential tower defense. We see 100 stone being bought. MbL is that for a TC on the island of Mr. Yo.
It's MbL. Of course it's for another TC.
Okay.
Nice 1 for 0 mangonel trade, though, from Yo. I mean, really, that's been the only thing that's been keeping him in this game.
Yeah, kind of. But now it gets tricky. We'll trade the 1 for 0 in the other direction. Villagers need to run away from the gold, and, well, that means no gold income for Mr. Yo at the moment.
Nope. Down 11 villagers as well. We might be able to pick off some of the fishing ships from MbL. That's going to be a sorely needed win here for our blue player. If he recognizes that fishing ships are... Right, never mind. There we go.
Why did MbL not go here instead of knights? Because he had like 12 farms and could not have used his food income at all if he didn't go for knights, so I like this choice.
Also, the knights represent a much scarier threat in low numbers in Castle Age, in early Castle Age. They can fight under towers and such.
Yeah, and instantly did forging, which is quite nice as well.
Honestly, Yo has some good upgrades for whatever few pikemen he has. I mean, he has +1, +2, and the Viking HP bonus.
Isn't that too many upgrades? I think...
The inner upgrade lover in me thinks, nah, man, that's perfect. But realistically, I'd rather have like 10 more pikemen.
Oh yeah. Both players without bowsaw. We have handcart for Mr. Yo, obviously being Vikings. Not even wheelbarrow for MbL at the moment, with 65 villagers behind this. Now goes for TC number 2. Still no gold income for him though.
None whatsoever. However, you don't need gold to make pikemen. You just need gold to make longbows. So you can sell a little bit of stone or wood here and there just to get a few longboats out to do whatever raiding operations you can manage to pull off. So it's not like gold is of the utmost importance for Yo, but it will be fairly soon, especially if he needs more mangonels.
Lost the Siege Workshop, is building another one now. Sitting at 40 gold at the moment. Tricky spot for him. Doesn't even have enough water control to maybe go for a sneaky landing and go for the center island and get some extra gold. How can he defend this? One mangonel and pray?
Well, it seems to be his game plan, such as it is. MbL has a 5
that's
mangonels.
really clumped up. That's really clumped up. Onlu, hold my hand, please. This could be. Oh,
Billy.
No,
MbL, please, no.
Yo, we saw it coming. 1 down. Make it. 3 down. 3 for 1.
Is that enough?
it's not enough. He needed the 5 for 1.
Oh man, when you're in a situation where a 3 for 1 mangonel trade isn't enough.
Well, it scares MbL away a bit. Handcard now for him. Catching up in that regard.
Why is he not gotten Bowsaw yet? Did you just forget it?
Say again? Sorry.
Oh, okay. MbL's just now getting Bowsaw. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mr. Yo doesn't have Bowsaw either. And another, was it another 3 for 1? I think so.
I think it was. And
MbL very happy about that. Not watching too much. And Sandy, Pikemen are pushing. Score is pretty even. TC here. And he's reclaiming his gold.
Yes, he is. Remember, really, he's got the +2 armor on the pikeman.
Holding against the TC there.
Oh man.
MbL can just run around. Shooting his own TC. But sire, we're firing at our own troops. I know. Attack.
Well, Mangonella is going to go down. There is one for Yo. The pikemen are there to defend the Mangonel. It would be a costly dive, and that's actually 2 knights going down right away.
Sick. This is like 7 Mangonels and 2 Scorpions exchanged against 2 Mangonels so far.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
That is the only reason Yo is even somewhat in this game right now. All the pikemen did just get cleaned up, though, for absolutely free, essentially.
Wanted to go for the Mangonel there. Was super hungry to get more. Big Mangonel shot there. Pretty solid, but pikeman number now so low.
Yeah, he's only got the 2 barracks to produce the pikemen. Usually you want at least 3, if not more, at this stage in the game. And that is a forward castle coming from MbL. And Yo just lost his only mangonel and didn't even finish the other siege workshop at 99.3%.
Oh yeah, that doesn't really help out too much. The next mangonel is at 30%, and the castle will go up, meaning no no gold control again for him. Now sending pikemen into their death, and well, now even getting harassed on the left-hand side, TC as well.
Yeah, this game is very over now.
Well, he did sneak to the center gold. Exactly what I wanted to see.
There you go, Nilly. He got to the center gold and with 5 villagers. The TC, though, is kind of dying, though. And that's a big problem. And MbL is just about to hit Imperial Age. There you go.
Uh-oh. I hope longboats are dying because we are at 4. 2 more queued up. If we get to 8, I said Mr. Yo would win.
Well,
we are at only 6.
6
no more longboat production. And his house. Good. We'll get up to 7. Uh-oh. I might look pretty dumb on stream again.
Well, Yo will be able to likely win back water in the near future, which is something. Also should probably repair that TC, just as a recommendation. There you go.
Will he really? Well, yeah. If MbL just right-clicks there, he surely will.
Yeah.
But,
I mean...
No! 7 longboats! Kill some longboats!
Delete your longboats, Yo.
Attack, MbL, attack! Botkin arrow! Oh, he's still housed. Mr. Yo's still housed. Fight!
Yes,
MbL, fight! Don't go back! Botkin arrow is not important. Fight! Kill 1. 1 is enough.
Yo's just got the house up. Longboat's on the way.
Oh, no, MbL. He can't. Oh, why is he not killing?
And
Oh,
nearly the best
9.
caster ever.
Oh, okay, now Yo wins.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
Well, I said so, right?
Well, MbL's almost to the Imperial Age. He might have a, still 10 military and villager advantage. And Yo doesn't really have any way to stop trebuchets in the slightest, and Yo just called GG.
After he got to 9 longboats. I don't understand this world anymore.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you said 8 longboats.
Yeah.
We jumped from 7 longboats to 9 longboats.
Yeah, mathematician means 8 or more then, though. Otherwise, I would have said exactly 8. Sorry for education on stream. 2-1 for MbL. I did not expect that after game 1 and after 8 minutes of game 2.
Yeah. This has been a really weird last couple games from Yo. Just some very random sloppy play that we're not used to seeing from him.
That was only Dark Age, right? If we think about it, 90% of the time we say you don't want to underreact, right? And if you think about MbL landing there, most of the time it's with more villagers. Most of the time it's with a bigger intention than to just screw with your eco. But then again, if Yo just builds the dock defensively, he can defend this, even if he overreacts.
Yeah, or at least is in a much better spot to do so. And he just went for the forward dock, which just doesn't really make a lot of sense to us.
And the later uptiming. If he is up 2 villages earlier, his scout has vision earlier. He can chase the scout of MbL a bit better. It all adds up. And, well, sometimes it takes half an hour longer to actually finish the game. Because Mr. Yo's defense and the manual control was worthy of the second best player of the world.
Oh, certainly. And, all else fails, not only did Yo win the first series, but he won 3-0. So that's something he can feel at least pretty good about. Going to be going into Scandi next. Should be seeing Mongols, Indians. And that might be a bit of a problem for Yo.
Yeah, I think so as well. MbL should have a lot of control, a lot of aggression, and Mango dice? Do you really want to counter them with mass skirmishers? Imcamel is not really an option.
Not really. Oh wait, no, I thought Yo had Mongols. My bad. I think Indians are amazing against Mongols.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because Mongols don't have an answer to camels, like imp camels. That's just, I guess, thinking in an Arabia situation, the Mongols are going to be better since we're on a map with a ton of hunt. But no, we are both wrong. We're both wrong in every possible sense.
What? What? I don't know what's going on. Cross is the other map, right?
Picked wrong Civ.
Did they? Yeah, that makes sense.
It's fine, whatever. Classic Mibbles.
Twice now.
Oh, I think he's talking about
MbL.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. That makes sense that we were so confused. They came up with those civilizations. Sorry, but it's Turney.
Yeah.
Okay, so MbL is playing Spanish on Scandinavia. A map with 8 deer and 3 boars, which are bugged for him, inaccessible. And there's 1 restart. He should call the restart here on this map. Maybe he doesn't see it, but this is basically unplayable for him.
Yeah. I didn't see it at first, but 2 boars and 3 deer are to the north of this wood line that extends like halfway across the map.
Yeah, well, it is super wallable for him. 2 stone spots. He has a super defensive gold and stone as well. Yeah.
So
he could go Kongs here.
My question here is that if MbL calls a restart,
Yes.
uh,
He cannot change the civilization.
okay, that's what my ruling would be as an admin, but I wasn't entirely sure.
I'm not an admin and I still rule this way.
Okay, well, you're just that authority figure that just makes these decisions no matter what,
Even
and
it's not
people
my
will just
tournament.
listen to you.
And okay, so we have 340. Is there still time to call the restart? MbL found those 2 sheep, and it's not the end of the world to play with 1 boar and 8 deer, but him only having 3 on wood might also mean no. Okay, now he sends the 4 on wood. Yeah, this is going to be wild.
And assuming it's a normal 4-minute restart window, it's not a restart.
Yeah. It's an interesting question. Are those spores admin restarts or not? Because
I would
they're
say no.
kind of like technically they aren't trapped, but without Loom they're absolutely unlurable, and he didn't even scout them. Look at that. Now he sends the villager over, hoping that the villager could get there, but sees the villager is going to the right hand side and cancels it.
Yeah.
And
The thing is, where to draw the line between where a bad map ends and a admin restart bugged map begins is, I think, a little hazy.
Uh-oh,
There's a
pause.
pause.
Maybe someone messaged him. And maybe one admin is just messaging MbL like, yeah, that's an admin restart. Maybe it's not. You consider boars bugged? Huh, that's an interesting question. Who is messaging? MbL is asking me. What? MbL is
Nilly,
messaging me.
you've been conscripted. You are now an admin.
Well, are those
What would
bugged
you
or
do
not?
if this happened to you?
Like, the map is still pretty good for him, right? And like, that's Scandinavia. It simply happens. If we have 8 deer there, we wouldn't call the restart. So technically it's not in bugged, and so I will say no. It is a hard no, and I feel for MbL, but technically it's not bugged boars.
Yeah, my concern with calling a restart in a situation like this as just like setting, I think just sets a bad precedent because you're introducing subjectivity into admin restarts, and I think that's just, it puts everybody in a bad position.
Yeah.
I think you have to clearly outline, okay, this is exactly what you need to have an admin restart, and if it doesn't meet those parameters, then I don't think you can just call an admin restart.
Mr. Yono being asked by MbL to not take the boars. I can take, but super far. Yeah, well then, if you take it with the scout, you could take them. I think he just should have milled the 8 deer, maybe. In exchange, like, he has a very easy wall.
Yeah.
You need to pause to ask admin, Robo or T90. What?
But not Nilly.
My boars aren't takeable. May I have Mongols, which kind of was the purpose of this map. I suppose he would have gone Malians anyway. Absolutely not.
T90 says it is an admin or that if he was in this position.
So MbL wants to have Mongols. Mr. Yo says no. T90 says if he was admin, he would give an admin restart.
Yeah, I think.
And Mem says they have one restart to call exactly in those spots.
Yeah.
And if it's his mistake to not explore them. I disagree with Mem because Scandinavia is so wild and the scout bugs out so much there was no chance for MbL to scout those spores before the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, it's not like MbL didn't scout it because his scout was idle or he was pushing deer. It was then, you know, it's just unlucky, and yeah, I don't think that's a reason. They aren't playing real versions.
Yeah, who said that? I read it as well. T90. I think, like, what did they pick? Did they pick ECL Scandinavia or the quote-unquote Age of Empires Scandinavia?
I think it was the Age of Empires Scandinavia, like the default map, because
shouldn't we just go, if we play ECL Arabia as map number 1, shouldn't we just play ECL maps for everything? There's ECL version of every single of those maps.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna check in game right now. It's all in Chinese, so it's gibberish.
Well, it will be shown on Capture Itch.
Oh, yeah, it just says Scandinavia.
So they're not going for the ECL version. And I think it would make sense to have ECL version for all of them, right? Yeah.
To tell that it's not the ECL version, it's the ice. I don't think the ECL version has ice, like in the land.
Yeah, and ECL version's name is ECL Arabia. So, yeah, I'm very sure this is the normal Scandinavia, and well, we saw problems with that earlier. And also we could check for birds. Are there birds somewhere? Yeah, there are birds, so it's a normal Scandinavia.
Yep. So
Malians against Spanish.
that's the world we are living in.
Okay. And
yep.
MbL's deer. No, that's Mr. Yo's deer. Where's MbL's deer? Scouting the whole map. Okay, they're both super far up front. The both deer patches. Oh, this will be an aggressive game. Oh boy.
And they are very close to each other as the hawk flies.
Ah, they're supposed to play ECL maps except islands, says Tato in the chat. So they screwed up.
Oh, I guess there is no ECL islands.
That makes sense then, yeah.
There was only team islands that was used in Africa.
Which makes sense because Africa has so much water.
Well, I mean, it does have, the second largest river by volume in the world in the form of the Congo River. And it is surrounded by water. You have the African Great Lakes region.
Oh no. Yeah, okay, might be true.
What?
Yeah, okay. Well, then let's play Team Islands. If Africa has a big river.
Yeah.
Which everyone obviously knows that it has the second biggest river by volume. Which one was it? The Congo? No.
Yeah, the Congo River.
The Congo River. Okay.
The Nile is the longest river, but it doesn't have like the volume of water that the Congo River does.
Okay. What's the first one? Amazonas?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry, Nelly, I got you.
Why is MbL... Look at that, he has 5 on wood, but not going for... the dock so far. Oh, he goes into the other direction. Interesting.
He's going for the double dock.
And he saw the double deer, so maybe he knows that Yo's at the left-hand side and doesn't want to contest him. But look at that, 265 wood already in the bank.
See?
This seems a bit odd.
Yeah. Yo goes for the very back dock and goes for some walls. I think we have to see a lot of aggression through the center. And MbL is going for the mill there. Oy, oy, oy.
And Yo is losing a scout to MbL's TC. That's usually not the greatest idea in the world. And now he won't have at least any sort of real confirmation that MbL is going with the forward mill right in the deer patch that I'm not entirely sure whose it is.
This one has to be Yo's. And
Yes,
the bottom
because
one
MbL's
has
is
to...
on the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But the fact that we had to check there, I think, says a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
Also,
villager! Oh, sheep
oh,
block! Oh, yo, again.
yo.
And jump into the sea, jump! Oh, yo, he
Oh
did
no,
it.
the villagers. Oh.
Did he go for another low HP build? No.
The boar went for another low HP build, but Yo
boars are so
jumped
clever.
in. Yeah. Very heavy investment into the early wall off from Yo, notably. Whereas MbL is just playing super open, super forward. There should be some heavy tower aggression from our green player.
Let's see. Makes a lot of sense going through the center there, and makes a lot of sense seeing that he sends villagers onto stone. Mr. Yo walls himself off completely. Kind of interesting. Don't tell me he's trying to play this fast castle without any deers.
It would be a bold strategy, Cotton, but I don't think it would pay off. I know you have the 3 boars, but you don't have the forage bushes to sort of compensate for that, which means that once your hunt runs out, you just have no food income other than your fishing ships. And that means you just need to have to seed a lot of farms at once, and then you're too stretched for wood income, and it just doesn't seem like a great idea.
Might be the spot that Yo even forgets 1 sheep here. And honestly, 1127 being that wall, sending 4 on gold. But he doesn't have a mill. What is he? Is that simply archers?
Sure.
With 1 lumber camp? Ay.
I mean, with Malians, I mean, you can do anything, right? So, I mean, I guess archers wouldn't be the worst play ever.
Second dock by him. He just contests water a bit. He obviously didn't scout the dock. So Mr. Yo only doing the scouting now. And has to be confused that he still didn't find a dock of MbL.
That's true, but at this point he should know that MbL has a dock in the north and just won't have to worry about contesting water. Well,
Yeah.
neither player will have to worry about contesting water, at least in for the time being. And notably, Yo has 4 more fishing ships than does MbL, so Yo is going to be pretty nicely situated as this goes on. But the towering fun has begun for MbL.
Oh, so much fun. Fun.
Indeed. But as you're saying, Yo does have the stone in the back, so he'll be, I think, in a pretty decent spot to defend.
Okay, we need to go for some fire galleys regardless, because MbL did build the dock after all. And MbL, look at that. 3 farms in a spot where he had access to 16 deer. And I think I would have loved to see him use those. Another tower at the top as well. MbL is going for the full surround.
Yeah, I mean, Yo is pretty trapped in his base right now. So really, it just takes, like, 4 towers to completely surround Yo, but actually MbL cancels the 1 tower and is now rebuilding it. I guess he's just trying to debate a little bit, but it doesn't really do anything. It just delays the exact same situation by 15 seconds.
Well, the thing is, if you don't know that your opponent is on stone, building them, canceling them at the same percentage is actually better for you, because your opponent is losing stone and is not getting income.
Yes, but Yo is on stone.
And villager casually moving out here. Let's kill that tower.
There is the scout here, though, for our green
Yo
player
is not
MbL.
shooting. Yo's tower is not shooting. Yeah, now he is.
Why was it not shooting?
Oh, just Age of Empires things.
Yeah. That does happen sometimes with buildings not attacking anything randomly. Like, it happens with castles as well, I've noticed. Whoa, Yo sending the archers out just to deny any potential towers. And Yo is still a villager ahead, counting fishing ships as villagers just because of all of his fishing ships, and will quickly start to take out MbL's dock on the southern body of water.
Well, it's 2 fire galleys against 2 fire galleys so far, so MbL could win it. Just Micro's back a bit. By the way, might chat, the question was asked who home map that is. It is the home map of Mr. Yo together with islands. Home maps of MbL were Mongolia and Cross.
Yeah.
Interesting tower by MbL. It's like, okay, let me think about it. I want to build one tower that protects nothing but sees everywhere. He found the spot.
I had to look all over, like looking in all the reasonable places, the logical places where MbL would put a tower. Didn't see a tower, had no idea what you were talking about.
That's honestly the perfect definition of a watchtower.
Yeah, seriously.
It's not a guard tower, it is a watchtower. Makes sense.
That tower individually cannot be upgraded to guard tower. Oh man, that is just so weird. Regardless, Yo does have fletching. He'll punch through that palisade gate, and MbL's gonna need to mount some sort of defense.
Some attack at the front now. Let's take a look. We have some villagers going down at the front. Low HP here for MbL. And another tower is getting built. Meanwhile, water fight looks better for Mr. Yo. Oh, it's super close. Yeah.
Slight advantage to Yo, but he will clean up the tower at the front of his base. And the thing is, MbL still has no land army. I guess he has a couple skirmishers now, but they don't have fletching, and skirmishers aren't exactly the world's scariest offensive unit. So I honestly, you're kind of really liking Yo's position right now.
Similar resources looking to go up here. Still would love to see some more usage of all that free food. Not going to happen. Yo, dock number 3 at the bottom. Interesting. Do you think, does Yo think MbL has fish at the top or not?
I think you would have to assume so, right?
Well, he saw a mill. He saw a late dock. It is MbL. No, I mean, like, it isn't clear that he always goes for water.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I still think you at least check. I think that, I think that's just the correct thing to do. But regardless, it's not like MbL is super heavy fish booming. He only has the 3 fishing ships on the north shoreline.
And Yo is sending one, and then we can see if he starts with fishing ship or if he starts with the fire galley to see what he expected.
Definitely.
MbL doing
now
an incredible job of keeping his scout alive, always having the intel. Now builds a counter tower to the outpost, cancels it afterwards.
Yeah, really just nice use of that scout. It got like a couple kills or something on the like low HP archers, and it's very nicely done for MbL as far as just controlling that unit. But he is going to be losing that one dock in the south. The power of the OP Malian fire galleys with the extra sail that sometimes glitches out and appears randomly. Just too strong.
Maybe there's some side wind.
In which case, the ship is pulled exclusively in one direction and can't turn.
I honestly, I don't want to say it again. Okay, then I will try to work around it. It still doesn't feel right for me that a boat with only one sail can sail against the wind.
Well, it's a galley, right? So it's.
No, I mean in real life.
Oh, like a little sailboat.
Yeah. How do you sail against the wind? It still feels so unintuitive for me.
So I've only been sailing a couple times. But...
Let's talk about the game, please. Both players about to reach Castle Age.
You're the one who brought it up. Oh. Yeah, they're both gonna hit Castle Age. Yeah, MbL has enough stone for a castle. He's gonna go conquistadors. Malians do have a lot of things they can do against conquistadors. They have good monks. They have camels as an option. They can go for archers in the mid game, and that's perfectly fine. But it looks like the camel option will be the unit of choice for Mr. Yo, really trying to hammer in this aggression while he can.
Let's see. Carthage timing pretty close. Towers are going up, trading off skirms against each other. Probably a bit better for MbL, I would assume. Second stable by Mr. Yo at the front now.
Yep, Yo definitely wanting to stay aggro if possible, and just to check on the northern shoreline, Yo actually built 2 fire galleys right away, so he did suspect that MbL had the fishing ships there.
Yeah.
And as soon as he clicks on the fishing ships, he'll be able to kill them all.
Castle placements? How do you like that?
I think it's about as good as the watchtower placement to its immediate left.
And in all honesty, I was thinking about where is a good spot. Do you go Harakiri and build it at the front where the first deer were? Do you want to be safe there? I think the castle is better than any castle I would have built.
I would have just put the castle a little bit further north.
Okay.
Just to prevent, well, just 1, to get the high ground, and 2, make sure that you secure the front of your base a bit better. Just, give yourself a little bit more space with which to work.
Okay.
Because right now, MbL is really starved for space.
That's true. It goes for elite skirmishers, so I said trading it off would have been a good option. Apparently, no, it's not. Skirmishers doing okay-ish damage. I think you can even micro against that knight.
Yeah. The knight doesn't have any armor upgrades, right? Yeah, so totally think you can do that. Regardless, conks coming out, they'll do very well versus the knights. One thing that has to be said, though, is that Yo's economy is going to be looking way better in the long run. He's got both waters, and he has 2 TCs faster than MbL. So MbL is going to really, I think, want to get some damage done with these conquistadors.
Yeah, first of all, clearing up the back here with his skirms. Nice job there. Mr. Yo can run quite a bit due to having water control, though. Camel production continues, but it feels like MbL maybe adding a siege workshop and pressure in the front could be a good option for him.
Indeed, Yo's actually grabbing a university. Maybe it's just for ballistics? I guess he's still pumping out his crossbow.
You can do a lot with Malian universities.
Yes, you can. You can get building HP upgrades to win a Trev War. But, I mean, in all seriousness, Malians are just so versatile. They can do like anything. I actually think they're probably one of the harder civs in the game to play. Just because you would have some glaring holes in your imp tech tree, but you can just do so much in the mid game that if you like manage your unit army compositions well enough, I think you can just get so much done with them.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And university didn't get any upgrades yet. Conquistadors are being kept on the production tab here. First, camels are trying to chase this one down. Uh-oh, not a lot of HP on those Kongs left, but the micro is pretty on point.
Yep. Kongs are just so hard to deal with. Camels versus Kongs is always kind of a weird one because the units just kind of kill each other really well. So a lot of it does come down to micro, but unfortunately for MbL, the first half of that fight was brilliant micro, and then he just kind of ran into the dead end and then lost all his Kongs. And I actually think that might even be like the big deciding moment in this game because MbL needed to get some damage done, and now he's behind 20 villagers and has 1/3 the army of his opponent.
Oh, that's brutal. Obviously, Kongs are way better than one population. And we're fighting against crossbow, camel. Let's see, skirmishers are still kind of fine against the army composition that Yo has. But yeah, the water just carrying him so much here.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if he has to work with fish traps soon, it doesn't really matter. Right? It's still economic units that are doing things. He's got even if it's an army that isn't going to be able to challenge MbL in terms of like pushing MbL back into his base, it's going to work out perfectly fine for him defensively, and that will just allow him to get further and further ahead economically, which is what he wants right here.
Yo soon has enough stone for another castle. Where do we want to see that one? Protecting his upper gold, protecting his front. I'm not really sure.
At is a good question. I'm not entirely sure either. If I had to do it, I would probably do it at, like, the front of my base. But that's just me being as safe as possible. I'm not entirely sure if there's a correct answer.
The front of your base where his secondary gold is?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd wall heavily to the south.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know the correct answer though.
He will build it at the spot where he wants to see the walls, kind of exposing his gold there, but he still has some army, so I can see the reasoning for that. Mr. Yo, look at his resources though, while MbL is just catching or grabbing bloodlines.
Yeah, that's gonna be good for him. I mean, this has just been the story of this game. It's Yo's better economy. MbL's even just now getting wheelbarrow. Yo has had handcart for a while. So, Im's going to come in. I'm not really sure what Yo is going to do in the Imperial Age, but there is a wide variety of things that would win him this game, I think.
Yeah, I think just staying Arbalest, even if you don't get Bracer, will win you the game. Just get some traps out. He could technically go for... I'll leave hand cannoneers. His eco is good enough to just go for cavaliers as well. Yeah, there are many ways to finish the game for him.
For sure. MbL will be able to nab some of these fishing ships here in the north, so it's going to be something for him, but he's still down 30 villagers, and looks like your last idea was going to be the correct one, at scale barding armor coming in for our blue player. Looks like it will be either for the cavalier or the heavy camel. Both are, I think, perfectly fine.
Yeah, well, we will see. It will be camels, because Mr. Yo has a sneaky stable at the very bottom of the map. And that will be a raid direction MbL won't be prepared for.
Indeed. Well, now he will. Well, at least he knows it's there.
Oh, I'm garrisoned to camel instantly. Interesting. Okay, but shows one camel, and then goes knights behind that.
Interesting.
MbL goes for the kill against Auto Crossbowman. Will get the kill, but will lose a lot of HP on his... not that many HP, honestly. Yes, Bloodlines has +2 defense as well. That's buffering quite some damage output, and MbL is on the way to imp as well. Completely didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's gonna be quite nice for him. MbL has just had to invest so little in his military. I mean, the kill-death ratio is massively in his favor, and you know, that's going to allow him to not spend as many resources on units, and then get to at least an okay-ish imp time. But you can see that now that Yo is hitting Imperial Age, one, that is still well ahead of MbL, and two, he just has tons of resources to get whatever imp army comp he wants, which is going to be those Cavaliers, so I think that's just going to be really good for him.
Yeah, goes for the cavalry attack indeed, plus for defense as well. Those stables in the back, and MbL, he's so scared of that, he's building a defensive castle. I don't like that one. Yeah, it will deal with the immediate threat, but that's such a bad long-term castle.
Not if MbL builds all of his farms around the castle.
Where there's ice.
Exactly. It's called you know, fish farming. you know, it's like you get the fish and the ice. Yeah.
And farm.
And farm them.
Okay.
Exactly. No, but you're totally right. It's a really bad long-term investment. I would have liked to have seen Farimba sooner for Yo. I mean, he has the castle. I guess he's just prioritizing the trebuchets, which, yeah. I mean, not horrible.
Yeah, 3 traps for quite some time. At the top, the TC is getting stopped as well. MbL. Oh no! Hello, Spanish bonus.
Oh man, Spanish villagers get you every time.
So Yo floating so much wood and food that he is going for guilds. Absolutely love that he is grabbing that. Most people grab it way too late, in my opinion. And
oh, are you also a guilds fan? I'm a huge guilds fan.
Are you a not fan of any upgrade?
Capped Ram. I think Capped Ram doesn't do enough for, you know, being the mid-tier between Battering Ram and Siege Ram.
Sick! Okay, I think it's such a cheap upgrade for such a big effect.
It is
Okay.
cheap. That's for certain. But
And it adds splash
regardless,
damage. That's
you
so
do get
big
the
for
splash.
Rams as well.
It is. It's only a little, but I wish they were like a little bit faster because they're not any faster than battering rams.
Okay.
Regardless. Oh yeah, paper money, boiling oil, atheism. Yeah, those texts are awful. Yeah, he was just getting. Speaking of texts, he was just getting like every single one. Getting
Yeah, well,
stone mining, gold shaft mining. He has now fully upgraded Malian cavalry, and yeah, just huge population advantage, 160 to 100. And TC at the north falling for MbL. Cavalier going to come and raid in the east. I'm not really sure MbL's win condition here.
well, maybe some overproduction of Cavaliers in the back against the castle. And they're actually staying kind of, well, efficient there. Now the Conquistadors trying to go for the raid against the traps. And they will one-shot the Cavaliers, will snag the traps behind this. That's a solid
But will it be
hold.
before the castle goes down? Oh! Good thing that when a trebuchet is destroyed, the rock that it's firing magically doesn't do any damage to buildings.
To units it does?
Yes. for
Oh,
some reason.
okay. Well,
It is wildly inconsistent.
okay.
But like that is actually a game mechanic that matters a ton. Like, I mean, you've seen it and played it a bunch of times, I'm sure. And yeah, that definitely kind of bit Yo in the butt right there. But still getting a pretty nice raid. MbL is now sub 75 villagers with 31 idols. Big yikes on that one.
Oh man, both of them have a massive amount of idols. That means 40 working villagers against 100 working villagers. Quite a big difference. And we're getting supremacy, because MbL's strongest army soon will be his villagers.
And that's not a good thing. I mean, I think Supremacy is just an excellent upgrade in general. Just makes your villagers so much harder to raid, makes them so much better at building anything in the front line. But it seems like MbL is in the same position he was in like 2 minutes ago with this castle, except this time it's not going to be saved.
Looks like it, and then he's so open to raids. Villagers at the front got idle as well, and well, dropped down to 50 working villagers at the moment, and getting raided everywhere. Capped rams around the corner here as well, and well, some conquistadors trying to hold an MbL. Simply picking the wrong civilization on this one really hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, Mongols would have been way better, and there's no other way around it. Will this hurt him in the next game? Having Mongols on cross. I don't think Mongols are comparatively as bad on cross as Spanish are on Scandi.
I don't think Spanish are that bad on Scandinavia. But yeah, I think you need to play something like want to see Monk stylish instead of Kongs. Because you can create arena style maps quite easily.
I think it definitely hurt MbL that his map is very open here,
Yeah.
especially at the front when all the deer forward. I think that if you can make your map arena and then just go FC Kongs, then you're just fine. But that's just not the map that MbL had, and he still tried to kind of go FC Kongs-ish sort of thing after a tower rush.
Oh man. Gonna lose for picking wrong civ again. Yeah, NAC against Tedo. He forgot about one civilization as well. But this is, like, I'm not sure if he's private messaging me or if it's in the game room. This is simply a skill that you have to have as an Age of Empires player, right? Knowing what civilizations are left. And that's drafts are so important. And it's incredible how MbL, technically one of the very best in Age of Empires, loses tournaments over and over again, or does not win tournaments over and over again because of mistakes like those.
Yeah.
We had the same in ECL in one of the stages where he picked a civilization that wasn't allowed.
Yep. And it's just, I think, a matter of focus more than anything. Like, it's not like MbL has terrible drafts. Like, his civ drafts are fine for the most part. It's just these silly, mistakes of like picking wrong civilizations and random points.
Oh man. And let me think about, does he have the last series of the day? No, that's Leary versus Taro in 75 minutes behind this. So good that he doesn't have to play back to back today, but he has to play back to back tomorrow. Taro, the 15 GMT session and 18 GMT session against Leary, I believe. That's going to be really rough for him, or the other way around.
Yeah, definitely. But the series isn't over yet. MbL still can take this over Yo. Go into game number 5, definitely exact opposite of the first 3-0 we saw today.
Indeed. Oh man. Remember the times when you could free pick civs in tournaments? Well, when we had 18 civilizations instead of 31.
And like maybe half of them were ever played.
Yeah. And we had tournaments where you could pick civilizations several times. So we had Islands 3 where we had Vikings 6 times.
Vikings.
Yeah.
And then we realized that that the lack of constraints actually removes like a ton of strategic element. So that's why we have drafts now.
Yeah. And Flo just said players wanted drafts in this tournament as well. Well. Yeah, Nikov. Nikov remembers the RTS times, obviously. How did last RTSL season go for you, Nikov? How far did you go? Well, let's just focus on the game here. Onlu, Indians against Mongols. We had so good civilizations left here earlier. What can MbL can come up with now?
So, as far as your food start on Cross, I'm pretty sure it's standard completely 8 sheep, 2 boars, 3 to 4 deer, and that is the case. So MbL could possibly lure some deer, could get a very fast uptime, might be able to use it to go for a quick dock into your opponent's pond. Could just use it to go for some poor aggression. Cross, it's not the most open map, but it's not the most wallable map either. I mean, I think the Mongols can do their full slew of early game options.
Maybe some man-at-arm aggression could be something. I think, honestly, if someone tries to play greedy with a dog, which obviously you kind of want to do on Cross, getting pressured by Mongols' man-at-arm towers could be really tricky to defend.
Yeah, I mean, if you just don't have the wood to spend at home, it could be a big problem.
And we see 4 on wood by MbL, so he will at least play a barracks early on, most likely a doctor.
Yeah, 4 on wood for Yo as well, so he's not going to be doing anything too crazy. Not that Yo usually does anything that crazy. However, if this game goes beyond, the mid game, I really feel like Mongols just don't deal with Indians. Like, they just don't really have a good answer to imp camels. Or the whole path leading up to imp camels.
Okay, are Mangodites that bad?
They're not horrible, but they're much slower to get rolling than imp camels, because you can just obviously just make camels in the Castle Age, and then you get the extra pierce armor as Indians, and it's like probably your best bet, but it's not like amazing.
Okay, how likely do you see MbL sneaking a dog over there and trying to harass Mr. Yo?
I think that would be a really good idea. I don't think MbL is going to do it just by the looks of things. I don't even know if MbL knows where Yo is exactly, as he's been luring these deer.
Yeah, that's true. Both of them kind of greedy for now. And MbL doing some walling there, doing a lot of walling there. So he won't play the super aggressive, in-your-face kind of style. I think he wants to play it the long run. Interesting.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what he plans on doing. I think there's there's a lot of different things you can do, like we were saying. And yeah, he does have the dock. He's getting some fishing ships. Same with Yo.
Why is MbL building a gate there? What unit wants to pass there? That feels like, oh, good to have a gate here.
I have no idea.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, MbL up, 9:20 time. Yo going for the big walls. Kind of what we want to see from him. Look at that, Yo. He is just at home trying to scout reasonable walling areas. I think I want to see him send maybe a third villager for walling there, the left-hand side. Goes for a house first. And, well, he might place scouts behind this, right?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Like maybe a few scouts just to keep your opponent honest, and then get a pretty good Castle Age time follow-up, go camel boom. I think that sounds like a good plan for Yo.
MbL, is he going? Is that a scouting villager or is it for a second dock? Looks like, yeah, how he's going back. Yeah, he is playing this one dock. I think I don't like this too much.
Yo is sending a second villager forward. I'm not sure if this is just to get the wall down faster.
I think so. Makes a lot of sense in my books. Oh no, it's for barracks and stable there.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, both players not really wanting to add in the second dock just yet. Both just pretty content to hang back.
Oh, look at MbL's luck today. He's going for the deer that was in reasonable eyesight of the TC. And look where the deer ran, and he's trying to go for it with 5 villagers now.
Oh, man.
Feels MbL, man.
And the last villager doesn't even have the surface area to gather from it.
Yeah. At least he gets it fast so that the 5th villager isn't idle as long.
Silver lining right there.
So, 4 fishing ship against 3 fishing ship for now. MbL is catching up in that regard, though. It just feels like Yo will have his second point way earlier, though. Since he walled edge to edge compared to Mr. MbL, who... Oh, I think he clicked the villager outside to check if there was a hole. And the villager walked the whole way around through the gate.
Oh, man. It's the gate, man. Yo even has a fire galley in his pond, just ready for any dock attempts from MbL, but MbL is just, nah, man.
Yeah, if you know that your opponent hasn't docked yet, the galley is actually the better option than the fire galley, because you can prevent new docks from coming up. The fire galley sometimes cannot reach the building villager.
Yeah, that makes oodles of sense. And I think this is just going to go into Castle Age, but Yo has a good amount more food stockpiled already. Just going over to the forage bushes now. MbL already there. Nobody has farms yet, obviously, since they're focusing on the fishing ships. But, I mean, this is going to be better for Yo, right? I mean, Indians just have a better boom than Mongols.
MbL doesn't want to play the boom game. He is on stone. He sends 5 villagers forward. If you didn't talk for so long, I wanted to start a Mongol chant, but that's not going to happen. It's a tower rush chant now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why now? I mean, he's all. If this is coming, why did it not start way sooner?
I love how he's stuttering if you try to ask about strategies. Defensive tower, quite easy decision here for Mr. Yo. Builds it a bit further. Another palisade there to prevent the tower hop. Mr. Yo will be up to Castle Age so fast.
Yep.
Nico in the chat. And people say MbL is not creative. Random tower rush with Mongols. 6 minutes too late.
The creativity is just overwhelming. Just like Hera's Regicide Fortress creativity.
Oh yeah.
Just like that. The second tower is not in range of the first tower. Denies no resources.
It's mainly to break through. I don't mind that tower too much, honestly.
But if the towers should break through, why wouldn't it be next to the palisades to break through faster? I mean, isn't time of the essence here, since it's already kind of a late tower rush?
Yeah, it would be. Well, he will break through eventually. Mr. Yo is at 7 stone at the moment. Builds a random outpost. And I think maybe just random palisade getting everything wouldn't hurt. And
Yep.
pull some more villagers. Uh-oh, this could get tricky.
Yeah. He is almost fully walled. I mean, the scouts getting in would be, pretty much GG for Yo. And notably, he has not yet clicked up to Castle Age. Getting fletching already. I guess he does have a couple archers. So that's going to help a little bit. I'd love to see that watchtower from MbL be a bit more aggressive, but looks like Yo will get up a defensive watchtower in the nick of time anyway.
Well, MbL didn't really have a clue on what's awaiting him. Maybe he felt, okay, if I build it closer, Yo will get the defensive tower up a bit quicker. But now the problem is, well, we will have fletching and archers for Mr. Yo that he can garrison in the towers, which will be so good for his eco.
He could do that, or he could send the archers on a counterattack and harass MbL at home. I think both are going to be good options. Okay, like, I know it sounds silly, but okay, Nilly. If...
Oh, drum roll.
Yeah. Seriously, that second tower, if that was to punch through the palisades, and he went through the palisades instead of the stable, he could have gotten up to the tower before Yo had his defensive tower. So I actually do think that was a terrible tower.
Okay, say again. If he... what?
So the second tower, the one that is next to the barracks of Yo, if that one was to help break through the palisades instead of through the stable, he would have, that is to say, MbL would have been through significantly faster and would have been able to put up an offensive tower on the stone of Yo before Yo could get his own defensive tower, because Yo had, like, no stone.
But it's easier to re-wall the palisade. Plus, there were like 4 villagers, 5 scouts, 2 spearmen, or 1 spearman attacking the stable. So there was just way more damage output as well against the stable.
I guess so. And I mean, it's better to kill the stable in the long run. Actually, Yo, speaking of stables, has 2 more stables here in the back. Castle Age times are similar.
Oh, and archers are, yeah, catching those spearmen and scouts off guard. Oh man. And they're so low HP. Crossbowman upgrade. No botkin. Archers won't do much, but honestly, those 2 camels will absolutely be unanswered now. And MbL, he can't rewall that. Not enough stone for a castle either.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what MbL's mid-game plan is here. Elite skirmishers, that is not the answer to camels. And this is what I was saying, like, Indians don't really, or sorry, Mongols don't really have an answer to Indians, especially if they can't even try the Mangudai option. Can't go for, I guess, maybe crossbowmen are your best bet, but yeah.
Oh man, MbL now sending everything back. Elite skirm, bracer. He would win an open fight, I believe, but only if we don't get onto higher camel numbers, which is super likely facing the Indians.
Yeah, that is kind of the default option for Indians. Oh, Yo's just now getting a bit axe. MbL already has bow saw. That's something that definitely MbL is going to be a fan of. And MbL is up to a second TC, well ahead of Yo. Still working with the 1 pond versus the 2, though.
Yeah, but it's 10 against 9 fishing ships. So more for MbL actually there.
Yeah, that's definitely something. I mean, it's I think a fairly even game right now. I don't think there is too much of an advantage one way or the other. I think MbL has to be a little bit careful with his wood villagers. Actually, just going to be pulling those back entirely as they are fairly exposed. Would actually like to see Yo just really try and power up the boom right now. I don't think MbL is in a very good spot offensively.
Yeah, he has no potential to do any pressure. With skirmishers only. That lands now for Mr. Yo. So far, only one defense upgrade. And oh, MbL actually sending a villager there to get the second point. Is going for TC number 3. So some villagers on stone in the back. I think mango dice aren't completely out of the question. Villager count, very even.
Yeah, certainly. The one thing that I do really appreciate with Indians is their ability to both boom and make armor at the same time. Just because, you know, camels are cheaper than knights, and you have the cheaper villagers, so you just have so much saved food. So maybe it'll give Yo a potential window to try and get some damage done to MbL before MbL gets his defensive castle up and makes that Mangudai switch, as you say. But yeah, well, it's pretty chill right now.
Gillnets now for Mr. MbL, preventing that one villager that wanted to be sneaky. At the top here is Mr. Yo. She's going down, and well, MbL going for TC number 4. He doesn't feel a lot of aggression, apparently.
He does not, but I guess he's kind of justified in that, as there's not really a whole lot coming. Yo's not building any more camels right now. He's not getting any upgrades for them. And Yo just seems to be wanting to hang back himself, but is a little slower in adding the extra TCs.
Okay, where are the stone spots? Okay, that's the second stone for MbL. I think he will get onto mango dice. And the castle will be up in Castle H as well. MbL is getting the second point as well. There's a lot of stuff going into the right direction for him.
Yeah, definitely. He has the 4 TCs to 3. He's going to be getting onto the second pond, as you say. And I think a castle on the hill in the front of his base would be a really great spot for him, not only to defend the front of his base and secure a secondary goal, but also there aren't any other hills for a good long ways for Yo to defend. He uses that as sort of a launching point for his attack in early Imperial Age.
Yeah, I think that will actually be castle number 2. The first one would have a 0 army at all. Should be a bit more defensively, maybe slightly in front of his second stone, but we will see. Maybe he gets greedy in the front there. Horse color only now, and yeah, I think that makes a bit more sense from MbL. Second castle on that hill would be really nice though.
Yeah, I guess I thought that, you know, since MbL knew that a lot of Yo's army was away, but I guess you're right that MbL himself just doesn't have like any armory. So, Mangudai are going to be on the way. Villager lead still slightly for MbL. And Yo is actually going to be getting his own castle. Whoa, he does not want a defensive castle. That's going to be denied by a mining camp and also the castle.
And yeah, the castle is being replaced a bit further back. And those skirmishes on the hill now are pretty solid. Can defend the gold quite nicely. The camels cannot really attack them. And yeah, MbL will lose 1-2 villagers, but that's kind of okay for him. Skirms now getting a bit overeager though.
Yep, skirmishers have to make sure they stay relatively close to the castle. And the good old university rush here from MbL. What are you going to do when your opponent just throws books at you? Can't defend against that with just a castle.
Well, some people decided to just burn them. What do you think about that?
And then they went to court and then had the book thrown at them.
Oh.
And had a harsh sentence. Anyway, MbL is going to be up to Imp ahead of Yo. He's had a slightly better economy. I did like the fact that he grabbed gill nets, and he doesn't have to spend much food on his army.
Yo, with way too few villagers on gold, if you ask me. Look at that. 7 villagers on his main... Oh, 6 villagers only on his main gold. And Where's the third gold? I don't even know.
Oh,
Here at the top. Not even going for that one. So for now, Yo's income. Things should be way better.
it definitely could
is.
be. Yo's up to imp as well, though. Gonna be, what is that, around a minute and a half slower? Was trying to get some damage done at the left side of MbL's base, but the power of walling and some skirmishers should be enough. Ooh, this is interesting. Yo really wants to go for some sort of an aggressive castle, and nope.
I'm not sure if that will be so good.
Well, Yo didn't think so either, because he canceled it.
Yeah. Think something a bit more defensively, where his mangonels are sitting, might be a bit better. No, he goes for the aggressive one. I'm a bit surprised, MbL. He should know that trap war is super important. He's sitting at 700 or 800 stone now and didn't go for the second castle. I think that's a big mistake. Now he goes for it. I think it could be like 80% now. Instead, it's only 6.
But in a straight-up fight, MbL loses this really hard. Yeah, he's gonna have to cancel that. So he's gonna have to put the castle slightly to the right of his first castle. That means he doesn't get control of the hill and opens the opportunity for MbL to potentially take control of the hill. That is not what he wants. Gonna get some nice villager snipes though.
Oh yeah, Yo only with 2 villagers there. Didn't look like we had ballistics yet, and university felt kind of idle. I think the trap war should go in favor of MbL. Full production there. Mr. Yo only now reaching imp.
Indeed. He does have +2 armor, though, for his camels. Could try and run in and snipe the trebuchet. There isn't really a whole lot to stop Yo from doing that. And Bracer actually is going to be the first imp upgrade of choice for Yo. Probably just wants to really start the E-skirm production.
Pikeman for MbL as well. Love to see that against all the upcoming camels. Knows that. Oh, nice walls as well. I honestly don't mind the position here of MbL.
No, those walls are beautiful. I think that Yo actually had the opportunity earlier to run in with the camels, but MbL has completely slammed that door in his face. And he's going to win this Treb War decisively and take out at least the forwardmost castle of Yo.
Then he can grab the hill a bit, or at least try to snipe down the traps. Those traps are positioned to kill the castle, but that means, well, some backfire by MbL is absolutely possible. Repositions his traps. Trap number at the moment, 5-2.
Yeah, that is massively in favor of MbL. Military count overall is dead even, and in a straight-up like fight in the middle of a field, MbL would lose hard, but he's just never going to give Yo that sort of opportunity. And so long as Yo doesn't lose his castles, he is going to be in a very good spot going forward.
Not a lot of HP on those castles, though. Let's take a look. Camels are now moving in. How many traps can he get? If he gets 3, that's good. I think he might just get 1 and then gets out of there.
You are indeed correct, Nilly, but that is 1 castle down from MbL. That is not something he wanted to have happen. Cuts his Treb production and critically cuts his Mangudai production. And as Mongols, you don't really generally win in the late game without Mangudai.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. He's getting an annoying tower at the bottom wood line here against him. And, well, that's still 2 gold spots and 1 stone spot for him at this very crucial area. Mangonels now coming around as well. Oh, suddenly I prefer Mr. Yo's position.
I do too. The double blacksmith for Yo, churning out all those upgrades. And this is where Mongols really wish they had Halberdier, but even if he did, like I said, Mongols don't have a good answer to these camels. The Mangudai, they're missing quite a few upgrades, and Yo's army is so much easier to produce. And now, Yo, 4 trebuchets, gonna start working down this castle pretty soon. MbL gonna be losing probably both of the trebuchets here at the front.
Man, and well, he's trying to repair the traps. Pikemen are doing their best job. Villagers are going down, though. He is 20 villagers behind as well. Another siege workshop here. And another trap is going down. Still 4 traps alive for Mr. Yo. He keeps up the aggression.
Yeah, it does need to actually reposition the 3 trebuchets in the back so they can all be firing on the castle. But oh man, another castle here right at the front of Yo's base, not even on the hill, which is a little odd. I guess it doesn't want to be in range of the trebuchet. And MbL, GG with the ellipses, ...
Oh man, he can't feel great after that series. Picking the wrong civilization. Mongols would have performed so well on Scandinavia. If he walls up this map and can go for Kongs and Castle Age, beautiful spot for him as well. Tough to play for Mr. Yo then with his camels and Castle Age. Ah, Gotti. Not only Yo's win, but also MbL's loss.
That is very apt. And Yo will go 2-0 today. Does that guarantee him a spot in the finals? I think it does.
Not technically, no. Because 2 other people could go 2-0 as well. And then he lost 2 maps to MbL now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's very, very likely.
Yeah. Something very, very unlucky would have to happen for Yo. I think it would definitely involve him losing 3 or 0-3 to Leary tomorrow.
Yeah, he has to lose 3-0, kind of. But yeah, okay, we will see about that. And yeah, in only 20 minutes, we will have the next series and the final series of the day, Leary against Tato, coming up.
Indeed. I'll see you in like 20 minutes.
Indeed. That will be sweet. And GG, 3 points there. Okay, guys, I will need to eat some. Age of Empires closed. And brackets on the side. I think I want to add this as well for add command bracket. People aren't really consistent in using either bracket or brackets, so kind of need to add both of that. Fields MbL, man. What can we say? Let's update browser, can be away, Saturday 2, and I can add Mr. Yo 3-2 and can make that red. Some strong outlining and save it as this file. Now I need to import it. Another one, interesting. And now we have the score there. Next series will be Leary against Tato. I need to eat. Did Yo beat Tato? Score is at this side. I can answer questions. Oh god. Andorine just quoting me that Leary didn't know that he was playing today. Leary is like... Guys, you won't know because it's not that public, but Leary is really tricky behind the scenes as well. Not knowing what the settings are, being very underprepared for series as well. Oh man. Okay, we can do question answer while I eat. That's the best thing I can offer now. Because I cannot do Windows capture at the moment, so I can not show you anything reasonable. Capped Pete, welcome. Why does Larry still agree to play those series then? $1,000 on top. The Viper isn't playing. Why not? Why not? How were the 4 contestants picked? By Mr. MaSmoRra. What is Larry's personality like? Oh, you probably need to watch NAC. It's like, he is kind of quiet, he is super sarcastic, extremely clever, talented in different things, but I didn't, like, he's kind of fair, he's vocal if you ask him about stuff. He, like, most people would think he's shy, but he just doesn't have like this pushing myself in the center thing. And like, I know that I was far from mature as he is with 16/17. Yeah, basically a teenager. Well, who's number 1? The Viper. Okay, I'm getting my sandwich and some sugar water. I'm back in. I will probably pee as well. Oh no, I will pee afterwards. 1.5 minutes and 1 minute and I'm back. Even less. What am I saying? And like Leary is handling himself really well in like scenarios with people that are way older than him, right? He shared the room with Memb. Dowd obviously is a guy he interacted a lot with, and they understood each other really well. Smoked a lot of shisha together. Then me being like 14 years old or something, and yeah. He did struggle very little, I believe, to interact and integrate himself. I'm pretty impressed. And I'm curious to see how Hera will be. Do you think Hera will become better than Viper in the next 2 years? It's one of the few people that I can't say a clear no, but no. He's one of the likeliest players to overtake Viper, but I still think it's unlikely. What was MbL's idea behind his late feudal unscouted tower rush? Didn't want to go into the, okay, we both have 4 scouts, let's get you into camels situation. I think he wanted to make it a bit more scrappy, which I don't mind too much. Viper might fall someday. He might. Do you exercise regularly? I would say yes. Yeah. Getting 2.3k is a part of Niri's plan to become mature as Liri. I'm obviously more mature, but I did a lot of dumb stuff when I was 16, 17 and misbehaved in some spots. And I've seen him do that more rarely. Yo, number 2 confirmed with this performance today? No. Guys, don't think that one tournament will decide who's the second best player in the world. A weekend tournament, best of 5 with that map pool. It's way more complex. And it's also only 1v1. So no matter who wins, doesn't decide this is the second best player. How do you think are your chances to get 2.3k for a challenge? I would say 55 to 60% for me. Do you know something about Larry's thoughts on motivation according to AoE2DE? I know that he would love matchmaking. What are you eating? Subway. Misbehaving in school? Yes. For example. Without Spanish on Scandinavia, could the series have ended differently? Absolutely. Spanish are really good on cross. Mongols are extremely good on Scandinavia. Most important tournament since ECL, because you hosted it. I like the tournament and I wanted to do the same, right? If I found the time. I wanted to do it with the max, the same 4 players plus the max. But round robin. Yeah. What do you mean by matchmaking? A platform, you sign in, I want to play a game, and then the platform finds you a game to play. And you're an opponent to play. What do you think would benefit more people in school, poker or AoE? Both not good. Benefit more. Probably poker. Do you also think the competition AoE2 is gone after KOT2 and NAC2? No. ECL, my friend. I'm pretty sure they already confirmed this. I don't know what you're saying. Ah, matchmaking. Yeah, he didn't know what matchmaking is. The name of the tournament is kind of awkward after Viper's performance in MSC. The name of the tournament is kind of awkward after Viper's performance in MSC. What? Did you not see the last 5 years of Age of Empires? If Viper dropped out of the community immediately, do you think that would be good or bad for long-term growth? Good for long-term DE growth. If DE wasn't coming, it would be bad. I think MSD also shows with players prepared for matches and which not. True. Who are the top 3 African players? Maya? This is the one I know at the moment. Yeah, Maya. Project Belgium is agreeing. I don't know number 2 and 3. Well, Mr. Yo said in an interview he practiced for almost 1 month regularly with no stream and nothing else. Hard work paid off. Well, his stream got banned, so it's easy to not stream your games then. Do you think there will be a new generation of younger players in AoE 4? Yes. I also expect the same for DE. But AoE 4 will have a lot of new players, I believe, yeah. And young players as well. Which Civ would you pick on a hidden Civ Deathmatch Arabia game? That's a stupid idea. But probably Slavs. Mario got banned because he streamed pro Hong Kong revolution videos. The guy with the new nick, behave please. Otherwise you know what happens. Yeah, you got banned because of gambling on stream? Okay, I read something differently. What do you think about the mono Civ tourney idea? We had that several times, can be entertaining. We had that in Germany, was actually quite fun. I don't know about the maps. Yeah, it's obviously not a serious tournament, but something fun. Not a big prize pool. Weekend tournament makes a lot of sense for that format. I won't participate or stream it though. Arabia only? Okay. They do it a bit differently. How we did it was, we seeded the players, and then seed number 31 could pick the first civilization, and so forth and so on. So that if you had seed 15, you still had some civilizations to choose from. Thriller Shark, hey yo, 8 months. Mono week, Civ starts next week. I think so. Yes. Do you have any novel content ideas coming up? I'm actually writing a book, but I'm not good at it. Someone won with Spain, right? No, Jordan won with Goth against me in the final with Chinese. That was full random though. Oh no home maps. So everyone picked migration against me. Not the German one? Oh, I don't know then. My horizon only goes to within Germany. If Microsoft gave you 100k money to host a tournament with 70k prize pool, how would the settings look like? I would make it a year long. With 14 small stages, and tell the viewers to consider them as 14 small tournaments. Well, 75k prize pool. You can't make it a team tournament if you want to have offline finals. And if I have 75k prize pool, it kind of has to be a 1v1 tournament then. I probably would do like... That's tricky. I would need to go heavily into that. Why no team game LAN final? Because 25k is not enough for organization, casting, getting everyone there. Yeah. I know he lost, but like, how was it? Bad maps, total domination by you? Who? Tato. Wasn't total domination. Yo just played clean. It is the best of 5, guys. It's easy to lose it 3-0 without playing too bad. You think all extra players will move to the E? Yeah. Twitch really needs a function that you can not only ban accounts, but also IPs on your channel. That would be really helpful. Do you think someone expert will have a big advantage than others when it comes to DE? Absolutely. I think if like, I'm not sure if like, for example, shift clicking will be something, M queuing will be something, then doubt can catch up a lot if it comes to less macro stuff, right? And less mechanics. What do you think of Mixer? Might be the better platform than Twitch, but Twitch is way bigger. That's why I'm here. The instant chatting is just nice, and the potential viewers have to interact with the chat is just so much better. think players that didn't really adjust to the new civilizations and such will really fall off. I think, like Fire, for example, who was top of the world in AOC, now not even considered top 16. Yeah, people like those will really fall behind. Why are there so many competitors to Twitch, but not a single one to YouTube? There are a lot of people on YouTube. The Spanish community is big there. There's simply no good donation policy, subscription. So people aren't making a lot of money from YouTube. I think the ads are given less money as well. I need a bit off topic. If one would want to move to Germany and know Berlin and Hamburg pretty well, and which wishes to explore a new city, which one would you recommend? If you prefer big cities, it's probably Cologne and Munich, the next ones. Yeah.